everything should be going.
Let's see. Yep, you are live.
Wow.
Yay! So now we're basically facing, like, the returning wrath of, fuck, I can't remember Meme Gorilla.
Harambe?
Yes.
Harambe's revenge. We didn't do anything to him, though.
We
Yes,
have
these
killed a lot
Machamp Harambes are coming to lay the smackdown on you.
We've killed a lot of these gorillas before, though, so I feel like, if anything, they have the biggest grudge with us.
I mean, we didn't do anything to Harambe specifically. As far as we know, we haven't encountered him at all.
Mm-hmm.
Try and do something there, Caitlin?
Yeah, I need to remember what the heck my password is for,
Roll20?
Uh-oh.
That would be helpful. That reminded me I need to open my sheets because I have not done that yet.
Same. I've been opening so many other sheets that aren't my own, I should remember to do that for mine.
I'm probably not going to use a level 2.
There we go.
I return with pie.
Welcome.
It's a wonderful day for pie.
But did you bring enough pie for everyone here, including chat?
That's a good question, Mega Man.
That is a good question, Mega Man. Why aren't you letting me in? I'm right. I have it written down. You can't tell me I'm wrong.
You sound like you're trying to log in with one of the computers I have at work.
Rada.
That's all. I don't care what you say about that.
Would you? Would I? Also, I feel very stupid. It took me, like I said, rolling somewhere between, like, NPC with player levels, like, 11 to 15 before I realized how you collapse the sidebar stuff on the front page of your character sheet.
Mm-hmm.
Which is really helpful, especially when you put in stuff from, like, my subclasses, which are always giant paragraphs.
Wow, just rolling up some events encounters, and not gonna lie, I'm kind of disappointed with how these are turning out.
Oh, that's why it wasn't working. I had cap lock on.
That would do it, yeah.
That case sensitivity. Also, I just remembered something that I totally forgot to do to my character sheet in this game, so I'm doing it now.
Oh, yes, that thing. Which I totally didn't notice at all.
I mean, to be fair, you're not looking at our sheets that often.
Because I trust you guys.
So at this point, we find out that Milo actually looks at our sheets every night and thinks of what he's going to do to us.
Okay, I was gonna say, probably not to that extent, but no joke, I was doing session prep in my bed last night, and I actually fell asleep with my books. Just right next to you on the bed, I'm just like, I'm too lazy to get up, I'll just put them here.
As long as you don't lose them, doesn't matter.
Mm-hmm. Right.
I couldn't do that. I thrash around in my sleep. I'm a very restless sleeper.
Big same. I start out, like, as a huggy sleeper where I gotta wrap myself around something, and then I will find myself in any odd position when I wake up.
I'll wake up and I'll have sheets thrown all over the place and go, huh. So this happened again?
That must have been one heck of a dream.
I'm a very still sleeper, but I wake up every 2 hours to roll over. Very consistently.
Fair.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm kind of probably stir a little more than that, Caitlin, but it's like, yeah, I'll probably like roll over 1 or 2 times and. Ugh.
You guys
Keep
sleep?
them
Must sleep.
I mean, you are a zombie, but to be fair,
I mean, I have to eventually because I drive for a living. If I don't do it there, then I'd fall asleep at the wheel.
Yeah, that's less than ideal.
mood kindred.
I mean, I wouldn't mind, but they don't really pay for my insurance. Well, technically, no. They'll stop paying for my insurance if I wreck the van.
Yeah. That's a very fair mood.
Elferet's like, yeah, no. Mila secretly went into our sheets and left everybody Valentine's Day notes.
Aw.
I mean, I wish I could be so bold, but didn't have time yesterday.
If you did for mine, it would be lost forever.
I spent all of yesterday just sending like random Twitter memes I saw to random people. So
Yeah, I saw the one you sent to Sean. That was actually hilarious.
oh no, I'm talking about the ones I send through Discord. I'm
Oh.
a good boy on Twitter.
For some reason, I was like, oh wait, I was thinking Sean was the one that did that. Oh right.
The things I sent Sean, I cannot send to anyone else.
Perfectly fine.
Ugh. But yeah, might as well throw us onto the live screen while I get a chance.
Yep.
There we go.
Just one more quick point of order. I desperately need to grab some water because of my throat. So I'll be right back.
Go right ahead.
Speaking of our lovable Trash King, just go send him some love today. He had a bit of a rough day, so if you see him, just say hi.
Yes.
Remember, you're asked, folks.
Also, for those in chat, and I'll be probably saying this multiple times throughout the stream, we have a start date for Saved by the Spell finally. February 26th. We're going to be hopping into Strixhaven. I want to say around 7 to 7:30 Central Standard Time. So if you're ready for a whole lot of chaos, which I don't even think the rest of the players are, because I'm the secret shadow DM high. I help make all the things that are going to make everybody scream. Which right now is a lot of NPCs. So, it's not like any other Strixhaven game you will find on the internet right now. We even have an NPC that's basically Punkyard Dog.
If I'm being.
Yes. But they are... This was totally by accident, too, but I was rolling up a character who happens to be a gnome, and due to their class, they get proficiency with one simple weapon, and they also instantly get 2 knives with their class. So they're running around with a great club and 2 knives, and I'm just like, okay, I made Punk.
You did make Punk.
Yeah, I know. I've literally traveled across several states with Punk. I know that they care that they never leave home without at least 2 knives and bats. So I inadvertently made them. And 2 characters are probably going to have to babysit them. And I'm the only one who knows which ones they are.
At least I got my DM from my other game that made a gnome that was basically a reference to the DM in-game that basically rolled stones like dice.
All right. Well, I am back, and I just realized before we get started, I had to get a new humidifier because my throat's been so super dry, and it's an ultrasonic air humidifier, which means that I can add oils to it. My apartment smells like eucalyptus, and I love it.
Nice.
I was going to make a joke about frankincense and myrrh, but that's actually really cool.
Mm-hmm. I wish I could just yell like eucalyptus at the top of my lungs, but no.
You're a fan of Ray Narvaez Jr. then, huh?
Mm-hmm. On occasion.
Hey man, Waffalo.
As he said on his 10-year content creator stream, it doesn't matter if you're wrong. If you say whatever you're gonna say with the exact confidence that he did for Eucalyptus, you'll make it far in life.
Yes, I've actually met him in person. Sweet guy.
I have too. The funniest thing was that I was at a Best Buy in Austin, and I saw Tina first, and I was like, "Holy crap, it's Tina! Oh shit, it's Ray!"
Wow. I'm just sitting here like, damn, I wish I lived near someone famous.
Oh, I don't live near him. I was in town for that, and I was also very drunk, wandering around with a guy from Australia and a guy from Long Island, and things happen. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Especially them all, since they don't have a good time, right?
I mean, yes. I did not spend much of that weekend sober.
Look, Vaughn, the next time you share that story, you could be like, "Yeah, the guy from Long Island was Sean. The guy from Australia was Haz."
No. If that would have been serendipity. No, these are two very different people.
No, I'm saying the next time you share, like you were with those two location demographics.
Well,
Yeah,
no.
like,
if I dared say that Sean was from Long Island, he would punch me.
Yeah, because he's from Queens.
I believe so. Either Queens or Brooklyn. I will ask him later, and he will yell at me about chopped cheese.
All right. Well, with that out of the way, if everybody is all set to go, I think we're going to be good to start for tonight.
Yeah.
Yep.
Alrighty. Here we go, kicking it into overdrive. Hiya! Welcome, one and all, to session 17 of Chult of Personality! When last we left our expedition, Dan, the half-elf witch, Enoch, the human warlock, Elise, the wood-elf ranger fighter, Zeto, the half-elf sorcerer, and the adorably terrifying Wick, the squashling cleric. Having just accosted the accosting specter, our heroes continue to the ruins of the crashed airship. On the way, Dan and Dan, yes, I said Dan and Dan, showed off a neat doppelganger disguise that Yuki, Dad's loyal and peppy puppy familiar, can perform. Then they encountered a pack of Dionysuses chasing a wild boar. Looks like meat's on the menu tonight. Mm-mm. Then our heroes arrived at the wreckage of the airship, named the Star Goddess. Her captain, Vasalandra Bravewing, weakly called out to our heroes for aid. They hung dozens of feet in the air as a group of ghouls awaited below. Wick then approached menacingly to the ghouls, but they stood no chance against our brave expedition. But what was curious was that these foul fiends bore the mark of the inverted blue triangle upon their brows. Ooh. After conjuring a group of apes, our heroes climbed up to the wreckage to assist the stranded crew of the Star Goddess. Captain Bravewing explained that they had been stranded there for 10 days, and they were starving and dehydrated. The party fed them and began to plan their further assistance. However, they were interrupted by 3 large, 4-armed gorilla zombies, hungry for flesh. Will our heroes repel these undead monsters? Will the crew of the Star Goddess survive? Let's roll for initiative and find out.
Do we want to go to the map first, or we're actually on
I was
the
to
tracker?
say, can we go to the map?
Of course.
Yeah.
Meant to do that. I was just so enthralled with reading the overview.
I'm surprised you didn't remind everyone of the amazing line. Oh, I see you're approaching me.
It's already the U2 episode title, okay?
Where is that? There it is.
Initiative.
That's okay.
Apparently, my clicking my token didn't work for it, but I got 12.
All right.
19.
Do I have to roll for Yuki, considering she's probably not going to be in this fight at all, since she's on the ground?
Yeah, we'll leave her out of initiative unless you wanted to do something specific for her.
Oh,
All right.
yeah. My plan has not changed since I thought of it last week. This is good.
All right, so that is for the... Which above gave are the growling zombies. That's for the crew. This is for Kwasha, and this is for Kablue. Ah! Add a turd for the crew. Add a turd for Kwasha. Add a turd for Kablue. Add a turd for Enoch.
Yeah, it didn't.
There's your token.
Yeah, I had a 12. Let me just enter that. There we go.
Alright.
If it'll let me. There we go.
They aren't as close as I thought they were, which is good, because it gives me a lot more time to react.
Do you want me to roll for the gorillas?
Oh yeah. Oh, of course. I'll add a turn for them. There they are. Boy, this is gonna be a very heavy encounter session for this. Let's see.
I feel bad for you. Like I said, next time I level up, we really will become the all-summoner party.
Yeah, I can't wait.
Oh no, everyone in this group doesn't know what I can summon, but when I summon it, oh.
Let's see. Growling zombies. Roll a 13.
Unless it's not a demon.
I mean, the scary part about any of the summon demon of lesser or greater is that you can summon them without the material component. The material component is only to protect the caster.
Alright, so
But if you lose
that.
concentration, they become a new enemy on the field.
Oh no, they're already an enemy on the field. The only thing is that if you have the material component, they can't attack you, the caster.
Ah. It's everyone else's problem.
Yeah, they're demons. They hate everything and everyone.
The equivalent of good luck, everybody else.
Alright.
Yeah, no. I'm more surprised that anyone would would cast a spell and then stay standing in the circle of protection. No, you summon the demon and you run.
Alright. Let's see. I was gonna say, Caitlin, did you roll for the apes, or would you rather I roll initiative for him?
Oh, I thought you said okay.
Yeah, it's D20 plus 2.
Plus 2. Okay. Do you want me to do separate or just have them all on the same?
I'll just group them all on the same initiative. Keep it easy. Ah, they rolled a 19. Excellent.
19.
Alright, that means they go before Kupalue. Go ahead and sort that by descending. Like that. Alright, let's go ahead and get started with Dan.
So originally, I was planning on mirroring up, image up, but, they're grouped so nicely that it's just, they're asking to be moonbeamed.
Of course.
I could
All
defend, but, this makes more sense. Gonna... Boop. And
Alright.
go.
Yep, they all failed, so they all take that damage.
Alright. And my next move is to get the fuck away. Bravely run away.
Brave, Sir Dan.
Let's see. I can get to that route. Whoop!
Miller, real quick question. You said that the apes rolled a 19.
Yep.
What is their
that-
dex? Because that's what I rolled.
They have a plus 2.
I have a plus 4, so I should go before them.
Okay.
Alright.
That means that'll be, Dan, then Kaplue, then Elise, then the apes, then Kwasha.
No, it-
Okay.
I'll also use my bonus action to use one of my jinxes. I'm going to cripple the one closest.
Okay. Good to know.
Minus 20 feet for that one. And that'll be my turn.
Oh no, rip its knees.
I'll give him the boot. Alright. Next up will be Koopalue. Let's see. That's about 15 feet up. You can see that one, but he'd be rolling at disadvantage to hit it with a sling. Misses as it tanks basically right off of these boards here on the edge of the bow of the ship. And he's going to take one step behind Kawasha. And that'll be his turn, which will bring us to you, Elise.
Okay, kids, you know the drill. We're gonna bonus action. Let's bonus action Hunter's Mark the crippled boy, and take my shot.
All right, go ahead.
21.
Yeah, it hits. Roll damage.
9 piercing plus Hunter's Mark. Has he taken damage yet or no?
From the moonbeam, yes. So you do get your
Okay.
Colossus Slayer.
So that's gonna be 14 damage total for the first shot.
Gotcha.
And shot number 2, 16.
Yep, roll damage.
11 plus 1, so another 12.
12. All right.
And I'm staying right where I'm at.
All right. Next up will be the ape's turn.
Yeah, right. Let's see. So they've got a multi. Well, I guess I should ask: Are they able to climb this tree branch here? I assume.
They do have a climb speed, yes, of 30 feet.
Okay.
And actually,
So I know, you know what we need to do: fight monkey with monkey.
Monkey. I'm gonna have them. Oh, I can't control them. I'm gonna have them go ahead and climb over that. I'll have them dash as their action to get over yonder.
all right. And then how about the apes that are back with Enoch?
I'll let them stay there and back them up just in case.
All right. We'll just say they kind of stand right here and they flex and start beating their chests. Acting aggressive.
Enoch just starts to like, okay, calm down now.
All right. All right, that'll bring us to Kawasha. Kawasha. Well, that's within range of Producer Flame. Good old reliable as he hucks the mold. Yep, that's a hit. For that much damage. For 8 points of fire damage. That much. Next up will be the Growlin zombies. As they do not like the fact that they are standing in beam.
I can't imagine why. Super healthy.
This one's able to step out. This one is going to clobber into this one here.
Let's remember they're taking that moonbeam damage.
Oh, yeah.
Yep, I just rolled the 15.
Yep. Let's see. Roll the con saves. Failure. Another failure. Yes, another failure. There. All right. Yeah, so this growling's gonna swing into the one on the left with the bite. That's a hit. That's a D6, right? +4. Alright, so that's 7 on the first one. Gotta zoom in. So I can see the tokens better. There we go. There. Then go in with the claws. That's, yeah, all 4 claws are gonna hit this poor ape.
Oh no, we need those.
Alright, +4 for each. Yep, he just goes and tears into that ape. This ape is dead. And
Monkey,
proves-
no.
Monkey.
Monkey.
Then this one's going to risk the attack of opportunity as he begins to leap and bound onto this branch here.
Uh-oh.
See, it's a 1d6 plus 3. Let's see, 20. That's a 10
Oh, you fool.
plus 1.
That's a hit.
It's 5, yep. Right, so 1d6 plus 3. 9.
Alright.
Max monkey damage.
And this one, in the meantime, is also going to bound over here. He's going to attack this ape. There's a bite. That's a hit. Max damage on that. Ape doesn't look so good. And claw. 1. That's a hit for 6. Second claw. Misses. Third claw. Hits. And with 3 of the arm attacks, it manages to kill that other ape.
Ooh.
So that he was over here. So that was 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. Bonus action, he's gonna dash, climb around onto this branch over here. And he's gonna make one more claw attack at the crewman that's right there.
No, we really need those.
That's a hit. Minimum damage, but he's looking rough after he takes a good claw to his chest. So that's 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40. This ape's going to... Oh, let's make this fun. He's going to move right next to other ape, and he's going to leap right on the edge of this platform right here. And he's going to start attacking this crewman right here. That's a
Stop
hit.
that.
Right.
Stop. Get some help.
Stop it. Get some
Time
help.
to stop.
No, I just imagined Wick in the Michael Jordan suit.
Yes.
Hit
He still has
first
the helmet
claw,
on, though.
Second claw. Yep, that guy's dead.
Ah.
And then the ape is going to move up. And he's just going to spend the rest of his time just taking his claws. And you see this zombie just begin to eat the flesh of this poor human that he just slew.
Oh no.
Delicious.
Mm.
He just starts chopping into its... right into its neck with those just massive fangs. And that concludes their turn. I'll bring us to you, Enoch.
Okay, well, Enoch definitely didn't like seeing that, so immediately just gonna deploy Hard Light Construct right there. Aw, they only have 12?
That does hit. Which one were you whacking?
Oh, this one.
That one. Yep. Roll damage. And let me.
Oh yeah, I forgot. Now my spiritual weapon hits harder. For 4.
Well, if
What's
you
that?
upcast it, yeah, at 4th level.
Yeah. Well, I have to. Remember Warlock.
Mm-hmm.
And then, for my action,
I was gonna say, yeah, you're 6th level, so it would still be at 3rd level.
yeah. Next
It only
level's a
scales
4th.
like 2nd, 4th, and that. So yeah, that'd be just.
And now it's time for me to start
4.
blasting.
All right.
Pretty sure 23 hits.
Oh yeah.
So first beam, 8 force damage, and then the second, number 12.
Hold on.
Yep, that hits. Roll damage.
So that's 13 on this one, and then the 4 on this one.
Okay, so 13 damage on that.
That's Wick's spiritual weapon.
Yeah, I know. I'm just using that as a placeholder because I couldn't find.
Gotcha.
So, set 4
Hey,
on
that's
that one.
mine.
Well, how'd that get in there?
I was gonna say, if you cast it, I will go and find Enoch and then set it up proper. All right. Anything else with Enoch?
Nah, aside from like I want to do a joke of how'd that get in there. Enoch starts shaking his robot hand, but that ends my turn. That's all I got.
All right. Zeno,
Enoch
it's now your turn.
decided to join Shantae's religion. Just off
All right, I have a
screen.
clarification question.
Okay.
How high up are we?
From the center ship, you are approximately 65 feet off the ground.
So if I hit either this one or this one with shatter, the force damage knocking them back, would that make them fall off the tree?
That's a very good question. I'm just kind of bouncing around here with other stuff, providing proper tokens. Repeat
Say
that again.
shatter
for
doesn't
me.
do force damage, it does thunder.
Shatter,
Yeah, it does
thunder,
thunder damage.
thunder, thunder wave. I don't know why I lost that spell there.
All right, so sorry. Set that up proper. There you go, Enoch. There's your bonking stick.
That's where it was. There we go.
All right. So you said Thunderwave?
Yep. So like if I move like right here to where I'm on
Yep.
the edge of the ship where I can reach him, and basically like just punch him.
Yep.
So like first things first. I'm a good boy with a 14.
Yep. All right. They gotta roll
And-
strength saves, con saves.
Just to be on the safe side, I'm gonna cast that at 3rd level to make sure there's a lot of damage.
Okay, so that's a Constitution save. These are resilient boys. Resilient apes. That one, this one next to you rolled a 9. And,
Oh, boy.
And I'll say you can hit that other one as well. This one passed, however.
Would I? Because I was aiming for this one.
Oh, okay.
It's only a 10-foot radius on or around me.
15. It's a 15-foot cube, which you can aim a
So I
base of
could
it
technically
in
hit both of these, like both this one.
Yeah,
and this
technically
one.
you could hit both of them, yes.
All right, so I'm gonna do that then.
All right. I am a generous god. I can allow you to manipulate the areas of effects in order to hit them within reason.
Thank you for getting my math right because I got it wrong. I thought it was only 10.
All right, so that's 20 points of damage on that one. And then this one needs to make a con save.
3.
So that was 5. Yeah, No, not doing to it, as this one gets knocked off. It plumps to the floor, to the jungle floor, dies.
Woo!
This one fails, and it lands. Let's see, it was 5'10". I'll give it a dex save to see if it can catch on to this mass that's right next to it. Nope, it fails. So yeah, that one's gonna fall to the ground.
Yes.
Question: would I get an opportunity attack as it sails, or no?
No, because it's not moving of its own accord for opportunity
fair
attacks.
enough.
So.
Just the Looney Tunes whistle fall, and then
That's exactly what I was going for. Actually, I'm like, okay, we're in the trees. I'm gonna make this silly.
All right. Well, now I gotta roll all that falling damage for that zombie as it hits the floor.
so we're like what, 70 feet up, 60 feet up.
Yeah, 65 feet
That'd be
up.
10d6.
So yeah, 66.
Oh yeah, 6. I forgot.
Almost
Every 10
fireball.
Every 10 feet of damage is a d6.
Yep. And as that zombie banks off the tree, you see it fall out of sight. But above game, crunch.
That's all, folks.
To quote Ed Bosco, "Let's go!"
Yes, Edo, let's go.
Rip
Anything
phone
else?
users.
I don't apologize, but I'm done.
All right.
I'm just glad that worked, honestly.
Alright. Wick sees the one that's crunching on the human. He goes, "Hey, no! Spit him out! That's no munchies and crunchies!" And he's going to cast really big old guiding bolt. We'll
Ooh.
What level?
do at 3rd level.
All right. Yeah, roll all of that 66 of damage.
For all that beautiful bean footage, holy shit. 18 points of damage, too.
18 points already of damage. And it is currently a glow. As you hit it in the chest with this massive guiding bolt, it drops the body of the crewman onto the deck, and it staggers back just ever so slightly as it is still very close to the edge at this point. Anything else for your turn?
Don't think I can do anything else. Nope. Can't do nothing else. You know what? He'll just move to just make sure if this thing does regain its footing, it doesn't go for anybody else.
All right. Now it's on to the crew. As Thessalandra just looks out over in horror and just lets out a gasp. No! No! Fight back with what you've got, men! As, they've pretty much meekly, very weakly, brandished javelins, and they try to throw them at with disadvantage. Let's see, that's a miss. Oh,
Please.
hey! One of the javelins actually hits. As one javelin just hits, and it grazes off one of the arms of this Gorellan zombie. But it doesn't even flinch with how much damage it did. Alright. And Thessalandra is really able to do much, so that brings us back to the top of the turn order, and Dan.
The big scary moon turns and stares at the back of the gorillan. The menacing
5,
kanji
10,
appears.
15, 20.
Gonna just drop it right on top of there.
Mm-hmm.
The moon is
Yeah,
this many
let's
days
see.
closer.
Yes.
in my head, like the face moon from Ocarina, or not Ocarina of Time, Majora's Mask just showed up.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what it's based off of.
Let's see. Your spell save is
14, I believe.
all
Yeah,
right,
14.
and it passed, unfortunately. So it only takes
Ah.
half damage,
Well,
but
it's
it's still
still 7.
damage. All right, that'll bring us to Koopalue,
Mood Kindred, come
And-
on!
which he has advantage on this because it is currently aglow with the guiding bolt. That's a hit. A sizable hit as he manages to hit this zombie in the head and chip one of its fangs. All right, Elise.
Gonna just go ahead and just back up just a little bit, about right here,
Okay.
and bonus action move Hunter's Mark over to him, and we're gonna go ahead and shoot.
All right.
12,
Hits
10 piercing,
plus your Hunter Smart plus your Colossus Slayer.
so 17 total for hit 1.
All right, this is gonna be a high DC. You aim it and you find purchase as you hit it square in the top, just right in the eye socket. The zombie rears up and it falls over backwards as he plummets to the ground below. And that concludes combat.
Ha ha!
Woo! We saved almost all of the crew.
Almost all of them.
Also, I can probably say I've got my first double, or like I've got a double kill on this one. Not my first one, but it felt good.
Yeah.
Well, all things considered, I think that went rather well. Sad about the one crewmate, but I see this as a pretty solid victory.
Meanwhile, Enoch just over here with two like excited gorillas. Guys, calm down.
How mangled is this corpse? Just out of mild curiosity.
Well,
is it really bad?
Well, he's missing a pretty big chunk of his like a decent chunk of neck meat, like the skin got torn off of his neck. But
All right, I'll let that be.
Remember, we have a death curse.
I was going to attempt to spare the dying just in case there was maybe a little bit of him left, but maybe it's more merciful to just let him go.
I mean, if you want to do a medicine check to determine if he's
all right. Let me open that up. Medicine. That's one of my best.
Oh!
Ooh, not
Wow.
20.
Double
natural
that
20 on both sides.
Damn.
You can save him. His breathing is very, very faint, but it's still there.
Spare the dying.
All right.
Take that X off of him.
Yes, the X is off of him. Fine. Eh.
There you go, don't worry. You will not be breakfast.
Thank you. Narth, you okay? Nar, you okay? Don't you go dying on me. We've been through so much together for this crew.
We should probably get down from these boats before we get attacked again.
Yes.
just for flavor, Elise is just gonna see the neck wound and I'm gonna try to second level cure wounds to see if I can like close it up or fix it.
Sure.
So, since we lost,
he gets 18 HP back.
All right. As you go to cast cure wounds on him, the the flesh does begin to heal up. He does have a pretty nasty looking scar as a result, however, but the wound does close.
Scars are awesome, so it's okay.
He'll have quite the story to tell.
What happened? Captain.
Monkey punched you.
Then tried to eat you. But it's dead now. You don't have to worry about that.
I felt like I was on death's door. Are we safe? Yes. It's all right now. The elf was gracious enough to save you, as well as the little one. As Thessalandra just kind of still tilts her head at as she's trying to figure out, what you could possibly be, Wick.
Halfling.
Exactly. And he tugs up his scarf a little bit nervously.
Oh, roll a deception check for me, Wick.
Yeah,
Let's
that's
see if we can keep
great.
this
Look at
streak going.
advantage because I helped.
Sure, with advantage.
That's what's still one of his best stats. 23.
The meme is still alive.
You would have
Yeah.
lasted with the regular roll too. That's amazing.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I see. Well, my final halfling friend, you and your other companions are truly in my debt. I just wish we could pay you with more, but what supplies we did have were
No, that's
scattered to the
understandable.
floor.
It's been a little bit of a journey for you guys, it seems.
Mm-hmm.
So, about getting us down. We're down 2 gorillas. I could use my charm to summon some more, or he pulls out the scroll again. We could use the arcane scroll to make this a lot faster.
I was
just
actually going to
down
say,
the scroll.
do you still have that dimension door?
Arcane gate, but yes.
I mean,
Yeah, let's just go with that. Enoch, get over here!
I can't. How about I just fix up some harnesses on these gorillas?
Yeah, that works.
If you want, I can make them throw you.
No, please.
I was also going to suggest that.
No. Enoch just starts backing away from the gorillas. Guys.
They just start making grabby hands towards Enoch.
No.
They
Thanks
just
for the
kind of
Jack
look at
from
each
Kingdom
other.
Hearts
Crispy,
1,
like,
throw him.
I'm sure they have very good aim.
Let's not leave it to chance.
Wick, how about we just revisit that papoose idea we talked about, okay? Let's try with the gorillas.
Okay.
Rolls
Alright.
a nat one, just yeets Enoch over the side.
Please no. Much like those zombies, Enoch cannot survive a fall from this height.
I think any of us can, really. Above
No.
game, even at max level, I don't think any of us is above, level 50, or, 50 HP.
No one has feather fall. It will end very poorly.
All right, so I'll use my 50 feet of rope to try to create some harnesses to tie these 2 crewmates to the gorillas.
All right. Roll a survival check.
Okay. Oh, and that's why.
I mean, you've got inspiration if you want to use it.
Yeah, I do, very much so. Okay, 9. I'll take that.
It is better. It's definitely not a nat
It's
1,
better.
at least.
Yeah. It's less a papoose and more like I just cocoon these guys to the gorillas' chests.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
This'll work fine.
Yeah.
What's the differential between this branch and this branch?
For which branches? I'm sorry.
This one and this one. So, how high up is this branch compared to this branch?
Oh, let's see. I think this branch, it does go up at a little bit of an angle, but at this branch, I'll probably say it's probably touching up here.
Okay.
So you can probably say those 2 limbs are probably at about the same height right there.
So, like, basically, if Enoch wanted help for the rope tying, I was just gonna mosey my way on over to this side, and if he wants to, I can try to also survival to do that.
Okay. First, give me an acrobatics check in order to
Okay.
make your way over there.
15.
15. Yeah, you managed to dart over, jump off that branch, and then make your way down to the stern of the ship.
Alright, and then survival to tie knots.
Okay, go ahead.
So 20.
Stop 20. Yeah, you double check Enoch's knot. It's not particularly well. You have your reservations about how well that is, but you do manage to go in and correct it.
She kind of gives him a pat on the shoulder and then just reties it.
Listen, I was apprenticed to a blacksmith. Not a lot of rope was in the equation. But okay, so
We all have to start somewhere.
all right,
All
big
right.
fellers.
All right.
ahead,
Well,
climb
let's
down.
go ahead and roll those checks. Yep, the two apes managed to get these two crewmen down to the ground, no problem.
I'm gonna head back to the other ship. If I need to roll acrobatics again for that branch, I will.
Yep.
13.
13. Yep, you managed to make your way up there.
One bad roll and that would have been tragic.
Why do you think Enoch is still just cleverly waiting? He took the ape way up. He'll wait
Yeah.
till he has time.
All
Wait
right.
for the ape train.
So while Elise and Enoch are working for those two, what's everybody else doing?
Arcane gate us down.
Okay. Yeah, you managed to cast your arcane gate. You see a spot on the ground, which is pretty close to where the well, I'll assume you kind of aim it a little bit away from where the ghouls were moving about. But yeah, you cast your arcane gate, and Tassalandra just looks on and says, "That's amazing."
Isn't it? It's a bit of a shame that was my last scroll of it, so I can't really mark it down or do it again, but it's a really cool spell. Definitely useful. Maybe I'll learn it.
Fascinating. As she kind of looks down through there, and she begins to motion through, and you all manage to make your way through the arcane gate back onto the ground.
Enoch just up in the tree. Can I get an ape?
And let's
Yeah.
see if it's cocked.
You can
Uh-oh.
get 2 apes.
This ape doesn't get to climb up. One of them struggles to try to even get off the ground, and another ape makes her way back up to you.
Hey there.
We are here to help.
Thanks, big
Here
guy.
comes Mongo.
What was that, Caitlin?
Said, here comes Mongo.
Don't shoot him. That'll only make him angrier.
All right, so the ape goes and throws you on his back, and then saunters on over.
Thanks, big guy.
As he carries you down to the jungle floor.
I consistently forget the name of this spell. How long does the Stopey thing end? Or last, I should say.
Conjure
For
animals?
the... Yeah,
Or
conjure.
Should be an hour.
I think it lasts an hour.
Okay, so he's still got some time. Probably.
Yeah, I would say right now we should probably try to take care of the starved and dehydrated crewmates.
I could help with that. I would just need to rest and change the spell.
I mean, we can set up
I
camp
could make
here.
I could make a big feast for everybody.
Well, that sounds like a
I'm-
plan.
Sounds
I am
good.
very tired after those back-to-back encounters.
Why?
I could use the rest.
Wick handled the first set of zombies, no problem.
Exactly. It felt like I barely lifted a finger.
I
You
mean, my
pretty much didn't. That was really, really good, or really, really cool.
my spell slots are okay, but I'm all tapped on jinxes.
What's a
It
spell
takes a bit
slot?
out of you. Didn't we? Could have swore we had an explanation about this. It's the fuel for magic.
Oh yeah, I don't got a lot of that, but it comes back real fast. So
Not as fast for me.
okay, well let's get these guys comfortable while we wait for Wick to mess with their magic.
All right, so let's see. That was in the middle of the afternoon. Yeah. So let's see. For as we're going out into the evening, let me just see real quick here.
Well, while you're checking things, can I take Dan aside real quick?
Oh, sure.
Okay, Dan.
Mhm.
Now I need you to first of all remain calm because I know you got a bit of a problem with that sometimes.
That's alarming, but I'll try.
No. I just want to make sure there's no like overreactions or saying things before we get some people's hopes up, okay? But I got an idea, mostly because we can't afford to travel with these folk.
All right.
So, you know the folks at Camp Vengeance?
Right. Yes.
Could you try seeing if you could get a hold of either the captain or Untrill, and then let them know that there'd be some folks if we can direct them towards. I want to say the heart of Ooptao should still be pretty undead clean after we cleared them out. That's pretty close for them, and it's not too far by a river for the camp. So if they can maybe pick these people up, I think that that's a win for everybody, especially considering these folk already seem to be attracting a lot of undead.
Right. I could definitely do that. I'm going to speak with. I'm going to send the message to Undrill. She doesn't scare me as much.
Okay, but before you just make sure you don't. If the news is bad, just tell me. Don't announce it to everybody yet. We need to figure this out.
Right. I've only got 25 words, so I need to figure out how I'm going to do this.
All right. So could you go ahead and click on? I'm assuming it's Animal Messenger you're going to be casting. Yes.
Nope, sending.
Oh, sending. Oh. Okay.
All right, so I guess I'll send off the message to you directly in Discord. I just have to count it to make sure.
Okay. All right. While Dan's working on that, just for kicks, Vaughn, go ahead and roll a percentile for me.
Oh, yay. What could possibly go wrong? 26.
26. Okie dokie. I have to double check where this app. Oh, game. Why'd you do that to me?
I also just
Back into the game.
Okay, phew. For a second there when I saw you drop, I was like, oh no, we're truly in the wild now.
It was all in your imagination.
That's the SD&D.
All right, 26. I see. That is. Ah! Neat! Okay. Let's see. All right. And while that's going on, let's see. There's the.
I misspelled righteousness, but it's in there.
I'm pretty sure spelling errors just fly over everyone's head and sending.
Yeah. Like a written word. They'll just hear it.
Either that or... Well, actually, no. If you have a typo in sending, does it come out as a telepathic lisp?
Have you misspelled all your words? Is that a speech impediment?
Now, I'm just imagining Mike Tyson using sending.
Hey guys, what's going on?
Nakis.
Oh. That moment where everyone has to start counting their letters. But while we got a minute, also want to welcome Yaroshien to the chat. For those who don't know,
Oh, wow.
Yeah, no, fantastic DM, and has his own YouTube channel. You should check it out.
Oh yeah,
He was-
I've actually worked with Yaro a few times in my Fleshy Voice IT days. Sup, Yaro?
Indeed.
Long time no here.
He was my DM in my last campaign.
Yeah.
Neat.
Yeah, and I believe that those are up on his YouTube, right?
Oh, yeah.
Indeed.
Yeah, so chat, if you need some more D&D in your life, go ahead and check those out. Also, thank you for the raid, Bob.
Yeah, Bob. Thank you.
Bob.
Let's see. All right, so you get that response back from crap.
Undrill.
Undrill, yes.
All right. So Dan will go up to Enoch. So I heard back from Undrill, and she says they can send one of their patrols to find them, and hopes we're well otherwise.
All right, that is good. Depending on how much you want, you can send a reply and let them know in affirmative, or we can wait. Either way, I think now we can let the captain know.
I'll give her a message back.
Okay, while you do that, I'll handle talking to the captain. So Enoch will meet the captain, who he didn't catch the name of.
Thassalandra Bravewing.
Captain Bravewing. Nice to meet you. We're using some magic to communicate with a camp of, I believe it's the Emerald Enclave. They're fighters of the undead in these parts. We're gonna give you directions to a place that should be pretty safe for y'all once we get you fed and taken care of. So that way they can send a patrol to pick y'all up.
Well, the Emerald Enclave. Huh. I mean, I've heard of tales of various scattered camps, but if they have a fourth, I suppose that would be of most use.
Yeah, we're actually traveling with a member. Points over to Kawasha.
Oh, Kawasha just kind of waves. He's just like, wait, Emerald Enclave? No, those weren't members of the Emerald Enclave. They were of the Order of the Gauntlet.
Oh, sorry. I just assumed fighting undead.
Well, we do have at least one common goal. He just kind of gives like a awkward smirk at that.
Fair. At least now we're finally pulling up on our end of the deal, eh, Kawasha?
Which reminds me, that'll be another matter we will have to address as far as my future pay. But again, negotiations are on the table.
True. I mean, if we find any gold, we'll settle up with you for what we can. But right now, I just want to get these people taken care of.
Right. As you begin to settle down and begin to tend to the crew of the Stark Goddess, Elise and Dan, go ahead and roll your survival checks for your various scavenging bits, which I know you like to do.
Yes. I sent my message to you to Undrill as well. I'm gonna get rid of that.
Hot damn.
Right, how did I do? Natural 1!
Oh, God.
Exact opposite.
The duality of survival.
Heaven or hell.
Milla, with
Let's
my nat,
rock.
Milla, with
Why
my
do I
nat,
suck so bad?
Milla, can I
I'm
use
sorry,
my
Dan.
nat 20 to support Dan?
I mean, how do I want to do this? I mean,
Draco, use
roll
your
a
inspiration.
percentile for. I was gonna say, Dan, you do have inspiration if you want to.
That's
use it.
true. Why not? I'll give it another go. Maybe it'll go better. Nope. Not by much.
It's not a 1. It's not a 1. Just remember that.
It's not a one,
True.
but
It's not a 1.
Elise, or yeah, you do make a convincing argument though. Roll a percentile for me.
Okay. 5.
5. You do find a giant boar on your hunts.
Alright.
And this is a big boar. Like really built and powerful, lots of meat on it.
Oh boy, yeah. Yeah, she's going for it. Do I have to roll, or can we say sake of brevity?
For sake of brevity, you roll an attack roll on it.
25.
25. Yeah, you hit it, and you shoot it right in the vitals, and it managed to drop it.
Okay.
All right. Dan, you
Alright.
managed to find some berries. Aside from that, you weren't able to find anything successful. You find like a day's ration worth of berries.
Better than nothing.
Would I be able to carry this thing by myself, or would I need to get one of the crewmen or one of my compatriots to help?
You're going to need some help on that.
Yeah.
And
She'll make a quick trip back to camp and just be like, hey, I need help carrying this thing.
But before you can do that, as you're going to look around at this boar, you actually hear a sound of marching coming from the jungle.
Oh no.
And as you look at further down, you do see the first thing you notice are some Deinonychuses, which have collars attached to them, and some Chult warriors as they're making their way down. And then you see the contingent following behind them, bearing a tabards and banners of fists wrapped in flames.
That was the mercenary camp that we went to before we left the city, right?
Make an intelligence check.
It's flat.
Yep.
Oh, 19.
Yeah, you recognize that as the emblem of the Flaming Fist. The same people that were in Fort Belawarian, and they're also, you've ran into a couple of their patrols as your group has traveled in the jungle.
Okay. If I remember correctly, they're very possessive of this particular island, so
Yep. And as you're kind of looking over this boar, one of the men in charge of the Flaming Fist, actually a very well built dwarf, kind of steps forward. Well met.
hey, well met.
You just sitting here all by yourself, or do you have your
No, I'm part of an expedition. We're searching for we're looking to solve the death curse.
Oh. Let's see. Oh, wait a minute. I think I've heard of you.
I believe we visited the fort not that long ago.
Like 4 months.
4 months ago.
Wait a minute. I've heard reports of somebody said that they saw giants. You wouldn't have to be with them, would you?
Yeah, they happened to be crossed by quite a while ago. Like last I heard, they were heading into the mountains, kind of in the northwest of the Isle.
I find that hard to believe, to be honest. Giants here?
I know. I found it hard to believe myself when I saw it.
Well, how about you? Tell you what, you take us back to your camp. We'll help you hold that back to him too. And the dwarf just kind of looks at a couple of the Chultan warriors and nods. And they begin to cinch and tie that up to a couple of their
I want to roll. I want to insight this boy.
That's like the dwarf, sure.
21.
Yeah, he's being honest. He's expecting that if you take him back to the rest of the party to, look at your charter, he's willing to help you out.
Okay. There doesn't seem to be any ill intentions.
No, he's just doing his job.
Okay. She nods and says, "All right, I was gonna need help holding the thing up anyway," and she'll just signal to have him follow to the camp.
All right. yeah, Dan, at this point, as you make your way back to the camp, with everybody else, you see Elise, and, yeah, she's actually brought quite a few more friends with it. Everybody else sees it at this point.
Uh,
Don't
No.
worry. Don't worry. They're just helping me out a bit and kind of points to the board that they're hauling through.
Jesus Christ!
Who?
God damn, that took me off. That completely took me off.
undead cleric from long, long ago.
Oh, okay. I love when I can do that. Sorry. Go ahead.
Put the size of that boar.
That's a big piggy.
I was more interested in the contingent of Flaming Fists, but okay.
Well met. Faltric
That's,
Iron Handle. At your service.
Hi, I'm Enoch.
All right.
Mike.
Well, I suppose you know why I'm here. Do you have your charter?
Yeah, I'll show it to him.
He'll take it from your hands and he'll kind of inspect it. All right, very well. He'll roll the charter back up and hand it back to you. Do you have anything to declare for treasures,
Nah,
gold,
nothing so far.
jewels,
I
magical
haven't been
items?
really lucky in that regard.
Roll deception checks.
I mean, we've got like one thing. I'd be giving them 100% of our treasure if
I
we
got one
gave
whole
them the one
point.
thing.
22.
All right. Very well.
Which works because Enoch doesn't
At
consider
least-
the jug as treasure. He considers it a utility.
Elise is going to. Elise is going to present the jaguar pelt.
Falldrick just kind of looks over it. Oh. You can have your hides. Well, more interested in, coin, jewels, magic items. That sort of thing. A little easier to work with that stuff and use it to pay for stuff,
Understood. I mean, you could always sell it for quite a hefty sum. I heard, especially rare cat pelts like this do sell for quite a bit, but to each their own.
Well, if perchance you're able to, I don't know. Nah, no. I was thinking out loud to myself, but, no. Gold, gems, magic items. That fair. That's all I really care for anyway.
I would say this
So-
is a pretty big bore. If you want, I'm sure we're not gonna be able to finish this whole thing tonight. You're all welcome to stay and feed your men for the evening.
Roll a persuasion check. I guess.
Dan sweats in the background.
6.
More people.
You know what? No, screw it. Inspiration.
Okay.
Unnatural 1.
Well, as much as we'd like to, milady, I'm afraid we have other businesses to tend to. We must continue our patrol. Wait. What in blazes? As he just kind of looks up overhead.
Yeah, no.
What in the nine hells happened here?
I turn around.
Why is
and
there a
look
bloody
up.
ship in the trees?
It crashed.
Yeah, long story.
Airship crash.
Oh, yes, that was mine. As Captain Bravewing just kind of steps forward. Thassaland the Bravewing, captain of the Star Goddess. And she just kind of points up at the trees. You're telling me that's one of those flying airships? What happened? Oh, well,
What happened?
we were attacked by terror folk as they popped our balloon and we crashed here about 10 days ago, but these fine adventurers just happened to save us from our predicament. Oh, I see. I suppose, did any of your supplies survive the crash? Unfortunately, no. We basically just survived on water and what rations we had before, but everything else was lost in the crash. Ah, I see. That's a damn shame. Huh.
Yeah,
Well,
right now we're trying to get them back up to shape so they can make it towards the heart of Ubtao. There we got some. I'm blanking on the name. You just told me the name of the other. Not the Emerald Clay, not the
roll an intelligence check.
Oh no. Enoch is not a bright boy. 14?
You remember the Order of the Gauntlet and Camp Vengeance?
Yeah. We got some folk from the Order of the Gauntlet who are sending a patrol down to meet them around the heart of Ubtao, get them back to safety.
Oh, I thought we were sending them to Camp Righteousness to be picked up there.
Camp Righteous? Oh, that's a lot much farther ways off. You said you had taken them to Camp Vengeance? As he's just kind of pondering around looking at some of their maps. Well, that's at least on the other side of the Aldani Basin. I'll tell you what. If you're in need of anything, we can actually take care of this lot. We can see if we can take them up as far as we can, maybe pass them off to a few other patrols on their way back to Fort Bellawarian. I mean, Camp Vengeance is practically on the way.
Yeah, that should work. We just want to make sure they're taken care of. They aren't fit to be fighting off all the things out here, and we've got our own business going farther in. Wouldn't be right to take them with us.
Well, as Fodrick just kind of looks over the lot of the crew, he says, "Are you fit to move? If we give a chance to rest, we should be able to tomorrow." Well, it's better than nothing, but if we'll be willing to hang out with you and possibly get you back on your feet first thing in the morning. Aye? Yes, that does sound like a reasonable plan. Thank you, truly. Oh, it's nothing. As long as you throw your weight around, we've got no reason to reject you. I mean, I'm not sure how any of the other patrols might handle you, but I'm a man that's tends to be true to his word. As he just kind of looks around. Well, it is getting late. All right, men, let's go ahead and set up camp. And he just gives a couple of quick claps, and the Chult warriors begin to set up tents and begin to get that all squared away. And with that, actually, it seems like a good time to take a quick break.
All right. Let's stretch our legs, folks. And also, chat, hope you guys are enjoying the show. Oh, I definitely spent too long today sitting. Oh. But yeah, now we've got more people in here. I guess I'll announce it again. So, especially for anyone still hanging around from Bob's stream, we now have a start date for Saved by the Spell. Saturday, February 26th. Myself, Shadow Dancer Bob, X Wiley Willie, Zymosite, CG, aka Colonel Gilgamesh, and our DM, J Frost, will be starting our Strixhaven game, which is a curriculum of chaos chock full of special homebrew, most of which I made. Yay! But keep a lookout for that. We'll be starting around 7 to 7:30 Central Standard Time. I'll be keeping people posted on Twitter as we get more stuff for that. But hey, look forward to it, because now we finally have a solid start date. And I only have to finish rolling up 4 more NPCs with player levels, because I'm that kind of crazy person who helps out the DM. On the upside, though, now I get to lord over all the players. I know exactly who has what in their clubs. No one's trash is safe. But
All
yeah, I
right,
hope...
I'm back.
welcome. I'm gonna tag out for a quick second since you returned.
All right.
Thank you.
So, I'm just kind of basking in for everybody else that's just joining in. Yeah, I've set up a new ultrasonic humidifier in my apartment because my other wicking one with the air filter went kaput. So, yeah, just reveling that in. And the next part is I can add oils to it. Diffuser oil. Eucalyptus smells amazing.
Eucalyptus is a very, very calming scent, yes. I
Mm.
prefer lavender myself, but eucalyptus is also really good.
I should probably pick up a bottle of that next chance I get, but...
And I've returned.
yeah. Welcome back.
I have also returned.
Yay!
Alright. Is that everybody then?
All right.
Okay, so with that out of the way, we could go ahead and pick things up. We'll say, for the sake of brevity, the flaming fist camped down. Nothing else happens for the rest of the day today. And on the next day, chair. All right.
All right. And after that experience, I think Enoch's gonna switch his floating +1 over to Dex. Just gonna say that out loud.
Okay. Go ahead and well, actually, I don't think I'll need to bring you guys over to the map because a couple of hours after the flaming fist set out, and as you attempt to leave as well,
For the record, I did give them their food.
yep, you did create food, and everybody had a nice hearty breakfast before they left, even though it was bland.
Very
It was
bland.
create food to wander in.
Dan could use prestidigitation to flavor it for people if they really wanted to.
You don't have to. We have a mess kit. Again, Mark Allen Jr., if you ever listen to this, I hope you're proud of me. I remember that.
Use your biscuit. A little salt, a little pepper. But yeah, in the morning, as everybody gets packed up, you have a nice big hearty breakfast. And the camp begins to leave, and you get to set foot for a little ways, and the rain begins to pick up. Harder and harder. Until it begins to blow sideways. And
Grab Wick.
at this point, you realize, oh yeah, there's a typhoon that's beginning to blow in as
Hey, what's the weather look like? It's raining sideways! Thanks, Ollie.
Alright, so for this, let's see. Caitlin, Vaughn, Draco, I need you each to roll percentile rolls for me.
Oh.
Boy.
63.
Alright, so Caitlin's is
Eventually
7.
roll. There we go. 4.
4. Second lowest roll. Alright, so while I'm getting this encounter set up, or a series of encounters.
I just imagine at this point Enoch has fashioned Wick's scarf to tie Wick to him.
Yep.
Don't worry,
He's
little
just
buddy.
a balloon.
Like one of those kids' leeches.
It's more like a papoose is like how I was picturing it. We're full like Luke Skywalker and Yoda right now.
Yes.
As you guys are, trying to find a place to bunker down, Elise and Wick, the two of you see a rather familiar sight as the rain is beginning to pick up. You see a blue mist slowly beginning to roll in towards you.
Hey, it's the monkey mist. That was what it was, right? Become his ape, become his monkey.
That was like the Mad Monkey fruit, only as a mist, right?
I think so.
I hope so.
Unless, of course, it's the ice mist. I could go check.
I think both are bad, especially for you, Wick. Remembering what happened to
It's
Wick
true.
last time.
That is true. I don't like the cold.
Oh no. So, is it encroaching fast, or is it just as mist usually do?
It's gently and slowly rolling in.
It is menacingly approaching.
Yes. So what do you do?
Quickly looks at spells. So, anyone decide to take the gust of wind?
Oh, I can't do anything. I do plants, not wind.
Well, we best make sure we stay out of its way at least, as Kawasha.
You know, I'm
and
surprised.
Cthulhu-
I'm surprised in this typhoon that this mist is actually working so well.
I know, right? It's almost like it's magically just slowly creeping through, in spite of the heavy winds and rain pouring sideways. The mist is still
feel like
gently
it's-
rolling through.
I feel like it's cheating.
Wick is calling hacks on magical mist. It's a good point, though.
Well, no. At this point, Enoch will just turn back to look at Wick on his back. But isn't all magic just cheating?
He blinks slowly.
Zeno looks up. Yes, but also
Well-
no, because considering that, like, I mean, you know what I can do.
Yes, you are very destructive and disruptive. I also figure, like, most normal people, if they could shoot lightning, would have a much higher advantage.
I guess.
Alright, so...
That said, I feel like we should walk faster than menacingly so that we do not get caught in the mist.
Yeah, let's follow what Kawasha was saying.
I'd say at least, move out of the way and let it pass, but I'm not sure if we were done for traveling in this, as he points around at the weather that's going on. I am not sure we want to travel around in this, as he's just kind of yelling louder because of how loud it is.
I'd agree.
I'm back. I survived.
Welcome back.
The wind blew you away.
I was gonna say, like,
That was
Dan says it in character.
yeah.
How was Narnia?
Oh god, sorry. Did I keep going without realizing that Dragon was back? Okay.
Yeah. I just happened to pop in a little while ago. I popped in
Oh my
after
God.
Koopaloo. Or not, after Kawasha in the wind.
So, bad news is there's a typhoon going on. Also, more bad news, there's a slowly rolling Mad Monkey mist rolling in.
Oh, I did hear the monkey mist.
Well, I guess Enoch at this point, let's go. Elise or Dan, you think you can find us someplace safe from the mist? Because we kind of need to hunker down.
Right.
Roll a survival check.
Survival.
Should I just, let's see. Yeah, I'll just give you advantage. I'll assist Elise.
23.
All right. Yeah, you do see, as you're kind of walking along this nice little ridge, you do see there's a cave nearby.
It's probably what I was looking for, so excellent.
All right.
Alright, now everyone be on guard. Remember last time we were in a cave.
At least this one only has one entrance.
That we know.
So far.
Yeah. Raised by goblins.
Yeah.
There's always a smaller entrance in the cave.
Can I briefly look at the entrance of this cave when we get next to it to see if anything stands out, like if it seems like it's inhabited?
Roll a perception check.
8.
It doesn't appear to be inhabited by anything.
Can I roll one as well?
Sure.
Because it's like
Dan could, but I'm gonna have Yuki do it to help.
All right.
I got a nat 1.
Yuki is much better at perception than me.
Yeah, so Yuki just goes to sniff around. I smell something. Smells earthy. As Yuki just kind of looks. She saunters in a little bit further. As she kind of looks around, she kind of darts around one corner. No, that's bad. No, that's bad. No, that's bad. That's very, very bad. Ah! As she kind of darts around the corner, you see there are 4 large swarms of various insects that are just crawling and chasing after her. And I need everyone to roll an initiative. As we're playing this as Theater of the Mind.
Oh, yay.
You know, do you think if we lure them outside, they'll just blow away?
Maybe.
I mean, if they're flying insects, the water should take care of them anyway.
That'd be funny.
13.
Alright, I gotta look up swarms of insects. Uh-oh. Alright. There we go.
Oh, my poor slow little boy.
I mean, you're before me.
It is true.
Like I said, man, it's our barrier to entry as the tanks.
Yep.
Okay.
And was relaxing, ready to wind down.
Oh, wait, I forgot.
True.
Since my +1s in Dex now, I have an 11. So I'm tied with the dog.
Alright, so I'm gonna drag you guys to the random battle page while I get this all set up here real quick.
Yuki's Dex is 14 and she has a +2.
Yeah, you have
to break the tie.
You have higher than me. There's a reason why this subclass has a floating +1. It's so that way you can focus on your casting stat because a lot of things go off of it. Also thematic because rope it.
Yaroshien. That is here, let's see. This is cave. This is entrance to cave. As Yuki is over here, she's beginning to dart around. And there are and okay. Go ahead and have to reselect your tokens and also get the realm music up because there we go. That's just a little bit. There we go. Okay, so initiative orders because you didn't do the chance of the tokens. Okay, so Enoch rolled a 10.
11.
I am on Enoch's back. Gosh darn it. Put me up front.
Now just imagining. Get closer. I want to hit them with my mace.
I want to do a heckin' bonk.
Caitlin.
Oh my gosh! I actually have a height advantage.
Caitlin.
You're
the Baby Yoda.
I am the Baby Yoda.
I can see. I can fight.
I feel so tall.
Enoch's only like 5'8", 5'10", but it's probably world different for Wick.
Yep.
I can see everything.
Meanwhile, at least it's better than monkeys.
He found his monkey.
Alright, so then for the bugs. They rolled a 16. Kwasha rolled an 8.
Doesn't look like Yuki is in the initiative.
I'll have to add her in a sec.
Getting tired of all these MF monkeys in this MF jungle.
Wouldn't it technically be their jungle?
My
Technically,
jungle.
we're the invaders.
Alright, I believe that's everybody. Finally. Hi-yo. Elise.
Well, doing what I do best. I can see them from the entrance, right?
Yep.
Mark this boy.
Alright, you mark that swarm of insects.
16.
That hits. Roll damage.
Oh, 11.
Whoo!
And then Max Hunter's mark.
Yeah, you just do one shot and that swarm is greatly reduced in size.
Shot number 2. Natural 20. Or, sorry, not nat 20, 26.
Alright, go ahead, roll damage.
Ignore the second one, 10.
Alright, yeah,
Again,
you just
4.
completely obliterate that pile of insects with just 2 massive concussive blasts.
It's my turn.
Alright. Next up is Kupalue. As he goes to run up next to Yuki. And takes his sling and hucks it at the pile of bugs. And misses. Good job.
Hey, man,
Next up,
he winged a gorilla earlier. He did his job.
I mean, it's much harder to hit a mass of bugs. Like, where do you aim for? Which horde of bugs do you shoot?
Actually, I just realized. I forgot that the bugs have resistance to that sort of damage. So, it's half the size as it was, but you know, it's still standing technically. So, what was it? Let's see, 17 down to 8. 20.
Looks at a party of most casters. Oh, they're resistant to normal damage.
Still standing.
Oh no.
Mm-hmm.
If only we had some way to not do weapon damage. Oh wait.
Looks at the spellcasters. Alright. Well. Alright, so it is their turn. This swarm of insects is going to circle around Yuki. This swarm of insects swarms around there. This swarm of insects swarms around Dan. This
That's
swarm
not
of
me.
or
I'm here.
Enoch.
You fool.
This
You're
swarm
right
of
where I want
insects
you.
will also swarm around. Well, you'll get attacks of let's see. Yuki will get an attack of opportunity as this swarm goes around towards Elise.
Alright. Does a
15,
15 hit?
That's a hit. Go ahead and roll damage.
She will do 1 damage. Because she is not big, Yuki.
She swallows a single fly.
He bites
Alright.
one off the wall.
No, I'm just imagining. If you ever seen a dog swallow a fly, you know.
Alright, so the swarm around Yuki. That's at
I just-
21 to hit.
21.
Nope, too high. But yes, that is.
I just think of the really old Winnie the Pooh where Pooh Bear just accidentally swallows the fly, but you can see it bouncing around in his head.
So Yuki. So wow. But Yuki takes 6 points of piercing damage as the swarm just bites at her at her heels. Ow, ow,
That
ow,
is
ow.
1 more than her full health.
Ah, pff. As Yuki has once again poofed.
Vengeance will be mine.
Alright, next up we will do Kupalue. As they miss as they tried to bite into Kupalue, but no avail. Meanwhile, Enoch does a 17 hit.
Yes.
All right, so you take 9 points of piercing damage as these insects just gnaw hard at your legs.
Wait, I only got one of those that's left flesh.
All right, next up will be Elise. I assume a 10 will miss as they try to bite through your leather armor, but they find no purchase. All right, that concludes the insect's turn. Zeno, it's now your turn.
Okay, well, just gonna aim right here. Actually, aim right here, so I can, where I don't hit Wick, but I hit the other three.
Remember, I'm here.
I don't see you.
Yes, because I'm
They're
swarmed.
in the swarm.
They're being swarmed, so they're occupying their spaces. So we have.
Mm.
All right, so I'll hit right there with Shatter. So I only hit these two. Actually, wait, no, I could. Would careful spell actually work with that?
It would work if you can shield your. Well, go on. Can you click that for me? From your metamagics. They share that in chat. Well, I suppose they would be protected and the bugs would not. I would say that would work. So it would be number of creatures up to your charisma modifier.
Well, what do you know? I have a charisma of 3, so I'm gonna just hit them with a Dan, Wick, and Enoch are not gonna get hit, but basically everyone else is.
All right, so go ahead and roll for your wild magic surge, and then we'll go into your spell.
Am I getting hit by this?
Oh, well,
Yeah. So no surge. Go ahead, and that's gonna be con saves, right?
yep. And here it is. 16.
16 points of damage. Wow. Okay.
Because I'm aiming it to where like it'll hit this one, and this one, but not the fourth one.
Okay. Because I'm right there.
Yeah.
All right. So let's see. Constitution. Boopity. That's a flat roll. So that is. Wow. 2 passes and 1 failure. So that's 8 on a fail or 8 on a pass and 16 on a fail. So we'll say the one sword by Enoch fails. It takes that much. That sword definitely reduces its size. This one takes 8. That much. This one actually dies anyway. So yeah, that swarm is just dead. It splats.
Someone got vengeance for Yuki. Wasn't me, but they're dead.
Oh, you just hear the sad funeral dirge. Justice for Yuki.
I tried, Enoch. I'm sorry.
All right. We'll have
All
words
right.
about that later.
All right. So that'll be your turn then, Zeno.
Yep.
All right, Enoch, it's all yours. You have bugs swarming you. What do you do?
Mill, I'm going to ask you a very important question. Considering, I'm going to click it so that way you can read it. But most minute meteors hover around me, much like occupying my space.
Aha.
So Enoch would cast that, and anything that would be, I would say, around him. Wick is attached to him.
Ha!
Yep.
Ha! Well,
So that would mean
they
that
float in air and orbit you for the spell's duration. So, the way that I envision minor meteors forming, they would still be close, but not so that they would actually touch you.
yeah, I always
when they
picture it as
spawn?
like a halo.
Yeah.
So that is a total of 6 of those. So that's 12d6.
Yep.
All right, I'm just gonna.
So, I mean, that's within 5 feet, right?
I mean, yeah, I haven't fired them, so they're just hovering around me while these guys are hovering around. So let's see here. That's
All right. So, where are you setting the meteors then? On you? On?
well. Again, they immediately just show up around me, and then I fire them as an action. It's anything that touches.
Oh,
them,
okay.
because
So they
they're-
spawn, but then they would take an action to cast or to shoot them. Okay.
Yeah,
Oh, it's a
basically.
oh, that has a bonus. Oh, okay. 1 or 2 of the meteors. So you guys fired off the first 2
Well, no, I'm saying.
since you casted it.
Well, I'm saying that since it specifies that they hover around me and these things are occupying my space.
Yeah. So, oh yeah. Oh God.
I don't think I have a bug problem anymore. I just became a bug zapper.
But I was gonna say, if that were the case,
I think
I'm gonna have to say
fairness.
that Wick, Zeno,
Yep.
and Dan, all of you need to make dexterity saving throws then, if that's the case.
Well, I
Oh,
figured
no.
Wick would be fine because Wick's like attached to my back.
In all
Well, he's
fairness,
still
though, it does say each creature, so...
Yeah, within 5 feet
17.
of you.
I pulled a Xeno. Oh no.
Does that mean
Yeah.
So now you can't yell at me for that.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
Zeno and Dan, yeah, you need to make dex saves for all
You have
6
no
of
more
those.
life anyway.
I think I'll be able to pass.
Am I rolling too?
No, you're out.
At least you're fine. Zeno would be the... So, this is gonna have to be for each meteor then, so...
Oh God!
Oh no, did I just kill the party?
Oh, fuck.
You might have just wiped us! Oh God!
Wait a
Oh
second, wait a
my
second.
God.
There is one
What's
saving
that?
grace. There is one saving grace.
It's per saving throw, so for
Oh,
the
no.
first meteor,
So
if
one.
you pass, it's a 14 dex save, so if you pass, you only take 4 points of fire damage. If you fail, you take 8.
Okay, I
So
took
I
8
failed
for
that
the
first one.
Alright, second one. I need
one.
everybody to make that save.
Hold on, let me
1, 2, 3,
map this
4.
out.
Alright,
next
so-
one.
That bug fails. Oh yeah, that
good.
the bug that's over there has to... Oh god, Koopalooie has to make that one too!
God, that's 6 points of damage. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
It's a good thing that for my action I can just cast Spare the Dying on anyone that falls.
Oh my god! Oh no,
4, 1, 2,
Koopalooie!
3, 4, 5, 6.
Spare the
Oh
Dying.
no.
Alright, so for the second round of
8,
save,
6.
that'd be 6 points on a failure and 3 on a save. Oh my god.
Oh God.
I'm
I
just
barely passed that third one. So that's 3 points, right?
Yep. Let's see, so...
I'm rolling and I'm literally rolling and then knocking down my things.
You know what? I've come to realize I'm gonna be generous about this. Because as you summon the meteors, everybody only has to make the first 2 saves. Because
okay.
as the first 2 meteors get summoned in that space, it's enough to kill the swarm that is currently around Enoch. So thankfully you only have to take the damage twice.
True, I could drop concentration on it instantly.
So I'll be nice and generous and say, first 2 meteors summon, that's the first 2 dex saves, and then after that, 4 meteors are still up, but nobody else takes any damage beyond that. And at this point, Koopalue is down.
Well, like I said, for my action, spare the dying. Nope. Bunch of nanites flow into Koopalue and restart his heart.
Well, it's your action to cast the minute meteors, and
It's
oh, that's right, bonus action. You can do that as your.
Yep.
Can you? Oh, that's right. You can cast Spirit of Dying as a bonus action. Thank God.
Enoch is prepared for all situations. They're just very dangerous situations.
All right, so getting rid of the swarm, that's on you, and then it was 8, 6. All right, so I already forgot the rolls. All right, failure. Pass. That's 11 points. That one's still barely up. Okay. All right, so with that out of the way, that was your action and your bonus action. Anything else, Enoch?
Enoch will just scream, "I'm sorry!"
Ellie.
You can't ever complain about my shit ever again.
Turns
all
around,
right.
turns around, finger up, shaking in anger.
He responds in kind.
Meanwhile, as it's Kawasha's turn,
Oh wow!
let's see. What could Kawasha do? Let's see.
Fall of Dan's rolls just spawning in on my screen at once. I just imagine Dan starts dancing.
He's going to attempt to huck a bolt of fire at the. Oh! Yeah! Natural 20! Let's go, Kawasha! Yeah, he just annihilates the swarm that's over Koopalue. Good job. That'll bring us down to Wick.
He's okay for now. Let's see. I'm just gonna go ahead and do a guiding boy on that last one.
Alright.
Whoopsie. I assume a 17 hits.
Indeed it would. For 8 radiant damage on that.
I think I'm back now.
Yes.
Yes, we can hear you.
Oh, good. I have no idea how much damage I took.
You survived. You survived.
Yeah, you survived. I was generous and went back and said, because the way I was looking at it was that the Melf's minute meteors are summoned one at a time as they're getting hit. So it would take 2 minute meteors hitting the swarm in order to die them off. So you will only have to make the first 2 saves.
Okay.
Which it looks like you made one, you failed the other, but then you're fine.
Yep. So the
Okay.
first one you pass, you take 4 points of damage, and then 6 on the second. So you would have taken a total of 10.
Okay. There we go.
All right.
There's
so
gonna be an active
with that
debate after this.
Yep. Wick. It's your turn. Anything else then after the guiding bolt hits?
Let's see. I don't think I can do anything more.
All right. Dan.
Well, this became a lot easier. I was worried because the bugs were on top of everyone. But now they're not on top of everyone and there's only one left. So I'm going to use Witch Bolt on this one over here.
Okay. 22 hits.
Alright. I'll just do it at level 1. 4 damage. And now it is marked and I can hit it over and over and over again if it lives that long.
All right. Yeah, the size of the swarm is definitely smaller than it was when it initially engaged the lease. All right. Anything else then for your turn, Dan?
As my bonus action, it's a new day, so I would have my jinxes back and everything, right?
Yes.
Alright, I'm gonna use one to use Witchfire Jinx, so the next attack made on the swarm has advantage.
Nice. All right. And I assume with that, that'll bring us to Elise then. The bugs on you are glowing now.
Would I break its combat circle to take a quick 5-foot step back?
Yeah. You are able to move out of the area of it, so.
Okay. I'll just kind of pop over here and With the advantage, I will actually put the bow away, and I'm gonna swing with the hand axe.
All right, roll with advantage because of the glow.
16.
That hits. Roll damage.
7 slashing.
All right. You
Can I
managed to
bonus-
cleave a couple of them
I was gonna
off.
say, can I bonus action move Hunter's Mark to this, since I'm assuming the other one died?
Yeah, I'll allow you to do that beforehand, so you also get your Hunter's Mark damage.
And Colossus
Colossus Slayer. All right, so that is a total of
15 damage.
points, which is rounded down to 8. Which it's still standing. There's still a few bugs left.
Alright. Second swing.
All right,
19.
roll damage.
6 slashing plus 5 Hunter's Mark.
And you managed to cleave the rest of the bugs that round there, and that takes us out of combat.
Enoch, what the fuck?
In my
Yeah.
in my defense, I've only had this ability for 4 months, so I'm still learning.
It
Also-
singed my leaves.
I am very sorry. Wick, Enoch will untie Wick and set him down.
Yeah. It's okay. Oh. That reminds me. I think we need to... do I have anything healing? Oh no.
Second level cure wounds on a couple away.
All right. Oh, that's enough to bring him up.
Every time I replace mass healing where something else happens. I change things for one day.
To be fair, Wick, you still are great with that guide and bolt.
Thank you.
As Cooper Louie picks himself up and just splort. He's gonna take a few steps and actually stand outside in the rain. And he's just gonna sit down in the mud that's currently outside the cave. He kind of turns back for a second and he does some hand gestures. Points to Wick, does some more hand gestures, and Kawhi returns and says, and actually points to Elise. And Kawhi says, he thanks you for saving him again.
At least nods.
Not sure if I'm a fan of all that fire, as he kind of turns and looks at you, Enoch.
I don't really get to pick what I can do. He just shows the little index on his arm. New things pop up on here. That one usually works pretty well. I haven't heard any complaints until just now. Didn't realize.
Yeah, well, next time, a little warning so we can get the hell out of the way.
I didn't know it
You're
hurt
not one
people around me.
surrounded.
In case you haven't noticed, usually I'm in the front fighting things and getting eaten by plants. Would you like to switch?
There.
Well,
No,
this was a
I did
learning
not.
lesson for everyone.
But like I said, Enoch, now you can never get mad at me again.
2 things. 1, aren't you going to school to learn how to do this?
Yes, but
Then A, poor student. B, how long have you had the ability not to hurt things with your magic?
again, it's only been a few months, and I haven't really actually done anything insane recently, have I?
The first time we met you, you teleported into a house of a stranger.
That was what, 4 months ago?
That's the definition of strange.
I mean, you're right, but I haven't actually hurt anybody yet. Surprisingly.
Do boats count?
I'm not apologizing for that. I paid
You
the man back.
should.
I paid him 12 gold to apologize for that, so that's exactly what I did.
I'm just saying. One mistake. The tallies, they're uneven.
Remembers the boats.
It wasn't even our boat. Well, we saved our boat.
You almost destroyed our boat.
Yeah. All right. Let's continue this inside cave.
I think
Yes.
we need to hold hands and forgive on each other.
Also, I'd like to point out, when we all wearing bug spray, how did these things come at us?
I mean,
I think the bug salve is only for the mosquitoes.
I don't think we have enough to cover us to protect us from that many bugs.
Oh yeah. Speaking of which, I'm trying to remember who all took damage from the bugs
Me.
besides Enoch.
Con
Yeah,
save, I'm
Enoch,
guessing?
I need you to roll a con save.
Nat 20.
All right, you feel a slight chill for a second, but you manage to shrug it off.
Oh, thank you. Oh, thank you, Shanti. Shanti, your pumpkin's full of bug salve. Oh.
Yay!
Yeah, no, in all honesty, like, something we should ask if, like, we get anything from the city of, like, Port Beluarian, we should get, like, a Shanti shrine or something.
I agree. There needs to be more shanty shrines.
I mean, yeah, basically the only god looking out for us. That I know
That's
of.
fair.
If I meet any more,
Beams.
if we find out about any more gods helping us, credit where it's due. But right now, Shanti, MVP.
MVP.
Agreed.
As far as I'm concerned, Shanti is the best god I have ever met.
Wick
Even
beams.
greater than Uptao? As
Yes,
Squash
no-
just chimed in.
I mean, I haven't
No offense,
really
Squash.
had anything with Uptao. We were at his heart a little while ago, but I mean, I haven't really encountered Uptao all that much.
Hmm.
In fairness.
To be fair, some would say that Uptao is not around much anymore. So I suppose I should give your Shanti that.
I mean,
It's true.
but also Uptao hasn't tried to hurt us, so I'd say we're square. We're square.
Neutral on Uptao.
Neutral, yes. That is perfectly fine.
I'm going to resummon my dog now.
I am going to get my healing spell back.
All right. I'm gonna sit over here and try to read a book.
Also very hurt from a flaming rock.
All right. All right. So, during this time, you managed to spend an hour to cast Find Familiar to bring Yuki back. As you bring
Real quick,
Yuki
is this
back.
for the night or is this
This was actually, which one was this? Was in the morning.
the main thing I'm asking is like, is this a short rest or a long rest that we can take?
This would count as a short rest if you wanted to gain back some health.
There was like
I
a
do
couple.
not.
It was a couple hours
Oh,
after
yes.
we left from camp in the morning, and I think we're just
Yep.
waiting out the storm.
I do not have my healing spell back.
You know what? I'll take that nat 1 heal dice. I deserve that.
I'm back at max, thank God.
And I'm also back to max.
Nice. Let's see.
Enoch right now is pretending to read a book while also trying to think of how to test his spells to find out which ones hurt people around him. Not helpful, especially considering there was something I was gonna message you about, Milla, but I totally forgot.
Ah.
Oh, this is just leaning against like the mouth of the cave and just watching the rain.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. In the morning, as you guys were leaving, that was the monkey miss. This was count as another encounter, and then there's one more that's gonna be later. So I'm just trying to think here as I was getting distracted again. So if right, short rest. You guys managed to hunker down for a little bit here. Kawasha just kind of looks around inside this cave. Doesn't really see anything of note here. Guasha just kind of looks around and says, I suppose I should make better use of these. As he begins to cast Druidcraft. He just kind of puts his hand down onto the ground and then kind of waves it around. The typhoon should let off late tonight. Tomorrow is actually going to be no rain. Surprising.
Neat. I guess we're stuck here then for the night.
Well,
What is our next destination anyway?
Valley.
I think we. Yeah, that.
well,
Kawasha, how dangerous would it be to actually trek through the jungle at nighttime?
Above game, as I bring you guys over to the map. Bring you over here. You are all currently right here in the non-marked wreck of the Star Goddess. So you're not quite, maybe a mile or so away from it. And then I guess if anybody wants to look at the map and roll a, survival check.
all right.
I'll throw my hat into the ring.
Yeah.
That's a 6.
All right. So I'll just go ahead and draw this circle around for everyone. Specifically, when Valindra was telling you about the location of Omu, she said that it was located between the Valley of Lost Honor and the Peaks of Flame. So, somewhere within here, you could probably sit, if you were to make a guess.
Well, that would sync up with Wick's vision, considering he said he could see he saw the mountain range that looked like a volcano.
He nods.
It was a big city there. And a lot of people. Well, sort of. Undead, really. I hope the people are okay.
Now, Dan, they said approximately by the Valley of Lost Honor, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well that's pretty approximate. If we don't find them, or anything at the ruins, we can start looking for Peggy. But right now, I'm gonna bet that a nasty lady like Peggy will probably be hanging out where a crazy person like Valindra wants to go.
I suppose that makes sense.
I'm going on the transitive law crazy, okay?
I mean, I suppose that the valley itself might be a good place if not a lot of people go through there. It wouldn't hurt to maybe go into the valley and then approach where we're supposed to from there.
It'd be a longer trek.
Do we see a Taz on the map? A Taz, whatever.
You would see that, yes.
At least we'll just kind of casually point that out to Kawash and just be like, do you know anything about that place?
Taz Yakowazi.
I was about to say, I'm assuming it's a proper noun, otherwise it would translate for Enoch.
I'm just double checking here as I double check my notes.
While we're looking at this, Enoch will just wonder, how'd that one guy think we would have time to catch pirates?
Actually, without a ship, how would we...
Yeah, that's not really well thought out for him, is it?
Well, maybe if we just happen across them. Land pirates.
Those are bandits, Wick.
He blinks slowly.
Oh,
I mean...
I guess you're right.
Yeah, and trust me, if we come across any bandits, I I'll be more than happy to join in with kicking the poop out of them.
Well, if you must know, Ataz Yakawazi means Gorge of Blades.
Hmm.
I'm gonna see if he's heard anything from there. I'm not sure if
need to
I've heard
find
of that
something
place
there.
before. But considering the Valley of Lush, I'm gonna see if he's heard of that. Let's see. I've heard that. At one point there used to be dwarven settlements that were in that area, but that's perhaps been quite some time ago. Specifically, the local albino dwarf tribes.
I mean, potentially there could be something to scavenge from there. If
That's
nothing else.
best case scenario, one of the settlements is still in use and we can trade and maybe get resources.
Exactly.
Could be a possibility.
Alright, well, sounds like we're heading there. At least it's closer to a straight line, but that's still good ways through undead infested area.
It's either that or brace through the jungle and just head straight towards that area that was mentioned.
True. I mean, on the upside, didn't seem like Valindra was, if she knew where the Soulmonger was or she was ready, I feel like she would have headed there, so there's gotta be something holding her up. So, maybe taking the slow way might be a good idea? I don't know.
It's gotta be interesting. In hindsight, maybe we should have warned the Flaming Fist people about Valindra.
Yeah, that might have been a good idea.
True, but also, like, we aren't even ready to fight a Lich. How prepared do you think they are?
That is very fair.
Also, to be fair, they didn't believe me when I said them when I told them we found giants here.
Let's be honest. Would you believe yourself if you heard that?
She nods. No.
Oh.
So
Alright.
that does beg the question. As Kawasha and Kupalue, I look forward to you. Which way would you rather go? Like to directly go to here? As he kind of points in that direction there. Or should we make way to Ataz Yakawazi to the Valley of Lost Honor and then come in from the west?
Elise under her breath in Elvish. Wonder where that dragon is.
Wick fiddles with his scarf.
I feel like we should get closer to the city that's around there. I mean, Shanty did show me in a dream. That's probably really important.
I agree. And also, a city we'll be able to get fresh supplies and all that. I don't know about you guys, but I'm starting to run out.
I mean, the city's a ruin.
Well,
I mean, there
Find
might be
something there.
people. Yeah.
There might be survivors.
Potentially, in the worst case scenario, we go there and find nothing. In an average scenario, maybe we find some supplies that were left behind or they didn't have time to pick up. And in the best case scenario, there's a settlement there that potentially could have people with supplies.
Exactly.
All right, I think some of our wires got crossed here. Let's just make this a binary observation. Ataz Yakwaze or Omu?
The second one.
All right, Omu. I vote Omu.
I'm.
I'd say Ataz Yakulwazi.
Yeah, I'll go with Taz.
All right, Elise, you're a tiebreaker.
It's probably worth checking it out at least.
So is that Taz for you as well?
Yeah, nods her head.
All right. As Kawasha and Kupalue look at you. Very well. We shall make way towards the Taz Yakulwazi and then traverse through the Valley of Lost Honor. Sounds like a plan. And he kind of nods, and Kupalue looks up and nods as well. Very well. Well, it's getting late. I suppose, do we need to make any preparations before we hit rest for the night?
There's one thing I want to do, but it's just send a message to someone from my coven. Doesn't really need anyone else. I'll just go off to a corner somewhere to get that out.
Do what you need to do, friend.
And Mila, I will send that message to you right now.
Okay.
And I sent you something, but it doesn't have to be resolved in this session, Milla. But for like roleplay, Enoch just reaches into the bag of holding, pulls out a book. You know, it would help if I knew what the title of any of these books beforehand, because if I just reach in and think book, it just gives me a random book.
Okay.
It's like a mystery of the day.
Yeah.
That's the only mystery that hopefully won't hurt you.
I mean, we got a bunch of random books from a lich. Any of these books probably could hurt me.
Yeah, that's fair.
The one about customs I don't think could really hurt you, unless it's disguised as something else. Or the philosophy book. The only thing the philosophy book is really going to hurt you with is harmful ideas.
It gives you the brain hurting curse.
Yeah, no, I'm used to that.
Alright, we'll just working on that message. We're sending.
But yeah, we have 26 books, so I'm just like flavoring my head. Enoch, whenever he's like, okay, that book was kind of boring. Book. Just reads through a book during the night. I'll get used to this invocation eventually.
Da. All right. Meanwhile, Enoch, as you're beginning to reach into the bag and try to grab a book, you find one that is titled Clean Body and Soul. How hygiene plays an important part in Chultan history.
Huh. Well, it's worth reading. He just starts flipping through. Do.
Yeah, roll an investigation check.
Oh, okay.
Ooh.
There it is. Oh!
Damn!
You learned the shit out of hygiene.
You are the cleanest boy now.
It's like
Yep.
going back to the conversation that Zeno and Dad had the other week. Oh, so that's why he says bathhouses aren't the same.
Yeah. Definitely a very engaging read for you, Enoch. As you're reading through, you get the sense that, yes, it makes so much sense of why Chultons are definitely on board when it comes to hygiene, and that explains why they have these public bathhouses, and they tend to boost themselves up by being clean. They find themselves in the best position for every facet of their life, and that's why they promote hygiene for everybody else around you, and that's a key part of their life. So, yeah,
Huh? Who knew you
rather
could use
fascinating read.
Who knew you could use sand to wash your hands? Actual hygiene fact, I know.
As an actual hygiene fact, yes. Like I like to imagine that you're reading this and this is all happening during where we're watching and stuff and all that.
I mean, yeah, man. You guys sleep
So
for
that-
4 to 8 hours, okay? I got busy myself somehow.
So like you say that, like you say that fact out loud. Oh yeah, like my uncle used to tell me that when I was a kid, because we used to live near the beach.
All right.
Huh. I'm gonna send a second message as a response to the one you sent, by the way.
Okay.
Sending that
All right.
right now, and she can respond back.
Okay, while we're going through that.
Again, going back to Enoch, you're like you and Zeno actually have a good conversation about like, yeah, see, like this is why I'm so ready when we get back to go to a bathhouse and just relax for like an hour.
I mean, I figured that was just because it was warm. We didn't have hot water where I came from.
Oh, like that's something you're gonna have to experience because it is extremely lovely.
I mean, I did experience it. We were in a bathhouse together.
That's right. Well,
No, it was a sauna, I thought.
It was bathhouse then sauna.
All right.
I remember because I liked the sauna until my metal bit started heating up, and then it started to burn.
Yeah, it didn't feel very good after a while.
But was at least a new experience. Closest thing I get is when you first start up a forge and you get that good sweat. Then you're in the forge for like 6 hours and you start to hate it.
I mean, I don't think that will work very well for me either. I don't like hot or cold. Needs to be just right.
Fair enough.
when it's like when a bathhouse is perfect, it seems like you're just going to a swimming pool.
I do like to just jump in the puddles. That's fun.
Fair.
I will disagree with you on that.
All right. So, with that out of the way, let's see. I'm guessing, Elise and Dan, those were your survival checks to do your things. I assume.
That
That you're supposed to
wasn't
do
that for
earlier?
something else before? That was for the map.
Yeah.
Oh,
Survival
right. That
check.
was for the map. Well,
We
yeah.
have
Go
an
ahead and roll your
expedited.
new survival checks for finding stuff.
Hey, 12.
14.
12 and 14. Okay. Dan. Let's see. And actually, just outside the cave, as you're just kind of going to wander about, you kind of catch a whiff of it, and you find you find a small little patch of spearmint.
Ooh. I will take.
You find enough for one use. And then for Elise, a survival check for finding food. You find some berry bushes that are nearby.
Yeah.
Some berries and some edible mushrooms.
Considering it's typhoon, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
Mhm.
All right. So, with that out of the way, as you guys begin to bed down in the cave for the night, Elise and Wick, because you have to hire passive perception, as you are kind of going to set up bedroll, and with some of the wind that's blowing outside, it's kind of odd. You two swear that you get a brief smell of death.
Oh no.
Uh-oh.
Oh God.
Gonna
That's not good.
just. I'm gonna just like walk up to the mouth of the cave, and I'm gonna try to keep myself like pressed against the wall as out of view as possible. And I'm just gonna kind of like just quickly just check either direction from the cave.
Wick peeks around her leg.
All right. Yeah, make another perception check, or make a perception check, you two.
Natural 20.
Yeah, it's not 20.
All right. Yeah, you swear you can't trace it, but you definitely do get a stronger smell of death, and I have to look something up here real quick. Where's the stats for that? There.
I swear to God, if this is more apes.
If it's any more apes, we'll have to change the name of the stream from Chult of Personality to Super Monkey Ball.
Right?
Until as you're. Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say, well, for it to be Super Monkey Ball, we need that one spell, Ultlix's Indestructible Sphere or something like that.
I mean, I could have taken that, but I didn't.
Let's see.
We've been around them long enough. Does this smell like monkey?
So. Okay. As. Yeah, it's weird. As the two of you are standing at the mouth of the cave, yeah, you definitely get you smell death, but you can't really see anything else. As. Okay, I have to do this. Where are the stats for that? Alright, Wick does a soft 20 hit.
Yeah, sure does.
And at least does that's a 25 to hit.
Yeah.
As vines just whip out from each side of the corner of this cave and they go to wrap you. Wick, you take 15 points of bludgeoning damage, and Elise, you take, oh my god, 14 points of bludgeoning damage as a set of vines wraps around you, and they begin to constrict around your neck as, yeah, there's, now that you really get the sense of the smell of death, as right around this entrance, there's, two sets of vines that are each strangling around you, and I need everyone to roll initiative as I bring you up to the random encounter map.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you're keeping track at home, that is 3 encounters in one session.
Oh, Rule 1 of Chult.
Where is that music?
Natural 1.
Ooh, 20. I think that's my highest.
Natural 1.
Hi.
Oh boy.
Wick and Dan. End of the line, buddies.
Yeah.
I feel like once we get 4th level spells, everyone's taking Blight.
Just gonna go ahead and open up my book.
I mean, I have my eye on a very specific 4th level spell that's Witch exclusive. That's going to be super useful.
Alright, so we'll say... Wick, you're there. Elise, you're there. As... There's your group 2 assassin vines right there. And I have to go ahead and... Oh, I need to actually drag it to the random encounter table. I did it again, I'm sorry.
It's fine. Oh. Oh no, it's one of the danger plants along with them.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah, there's like 2 lumps of there's 2 assassin vines that are... They've got their vines wrapped around you at the entrance of this cave. Crap, I gotta add everything in there again. What's their initiative? Alright, well, good news. Vines roll terribly.
Hooray.
That's Kawasha. Louis, not too bad. Alright. So, if you guys could go ahead and add your turns again while I get everything else sorted out here. Wah, wah, wah. 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 Wah.
Wah.
Wah.
Wow.
Everybody cheat but me!
Everybody cheat but me.
Put me in Smash.
He isn't Smash, he's just his trophy. People just don't like to take no for an answer.
Where is my invite? Probably got lost in the mail.
You got done so dirty.
Yeah, I did.
Mm.
Okay, why does it keep resetting every time I type in the initiative?
I'm sorry. It's possibly because I'm maybe adding stuff or...
There we go, I have to press
everybody else.
enter.
Yep.
I'll learn all of Roll20 eventually.
And you got a 15.
Alright, Assassin Vines rolled a 3. Let's see, Wick rolled a
I love
4.
that. Once again, we have at the bottom of initiative 3, 2, 1.
Alright, that should be everybody. As Enoch, you hear, as Elise and Dan were standing outside, you hear sounds of strangulation going on
You mean Wick?
at the entrance between Elise and Wick.
Alright, well, Enoch immediately sees both of them being strangled and just kind of runs over, holds out his hand, and starts blasting. Try and get
All right.
it free. 17?
17. I'll
That's-
say the fact that they have partial cover because of the entrance of the cave means that still hits.
Okay.
And which one were you shooting?
First the one on Wix, that takes 3 damage. And
Okay.
then I'll aim for the one that's got Elise.
Alright.
Number 17.
That'll also hit.
For 2 damage. Eldritch Blast, get together. You're my bread and butter here.
Alright. Next up will...
I still have a bonus action.
Of course. My apologies.
So that didn't go so well. Spiritual weapon.
All right. Bonk, bonk, bonk.
Yep. 18.
That'll hit. Roll damage.
Okay, come on. There we go. 4 on 2d8. Yeesh. Oh, wait, no, it only ran 1. What? Let me try that again. Okay, the spell's broken, so...
Well,
I mean, you can just take the
you're
4 out.
you're a 5th level spellcaster that has access to 3rd level spell slots.
Yeah, I'm clicking it to have it roll at a higher level, but it's just a spell card in roll 20. It's
I thought
broken.
warlocks didn't have access to 4th level spell slots yet. That's why I'm getting confused. It should
No,
be
it's
right.
3rd level because spiritual weapon is a 2nd level spell. And
Well, there's no differentiation between 3rd level and 2nd level. It still gets D8 damage.
I thought I increased by level.
No, spiritual weapon is one of those spells that actually increases every other level you cast it.
Oh.
So
well,
2nd, 4th, 6th. That's why it does that.
Then yeah,
Yeah,
all
yeah,
I did was
yeah.
the 4 damage on top of the 3 I did to the one on Wick, so 7 damage to that one.
All right. So that's so it's 12. All right. That will bring us to Kawasha, as he's going to step out. More assassin vines. Be back, foul wretched creatures. As he's going to. He's gonna move over to here, and he's actually gonna cast Thunder Wave on that one that's currently grappled Elise. So that's gonna be a save. Passes, but that's still gonna be 2d8. Wow, low roll on that. On the pass. So it's just, batters away a little bit, but not much to it. All right, that'll bring us to Yuki.
All right. Let's see. How far away is she from everything?
5, 10, 15, 20, 25.
She can
25
make it.
feet away?
Whoop. She's gonna sit right there and bark at the assassin vine, giving advantage with the help action.
All right. Zeno, it's your turn then. Zeno.
Deluna.
Uh-oh.
Oh, sorry. Short and sweet, Zeno's gonna come right here and Thunder Wave on this guy.
All right.
Alright, then.
Passes. No surge.
Yep, and there's the first level one.
Ugh. That's as much damage as what Kawasa just rolled. Not that much. Alright. Anything else?
When it comes to Plants vs. Zombies, we are much better with the zombies.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep. Next up will be Koopalue. He's gonna huck a sling at this vine here. That's a hit. Attaboy. Max damage. Not bad. Alright, so that's his turn. Elise, you are currently restrained by this
Okay.
massive vines that's around you.
Am I still able to attack, or...
At disadvantage, yes, because you're restrained.
Okay. Well, first and foremost, for the first time since leveling up, I'm gonna bonus action Second Wind,
Alright.
which is 1d10 of healing plus my fire level, which is 1.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna heal for 4.
All right.
And then I'm gonna go ahead and dagger with disadvantage, I guess.
All right.
You can.
That misses, unfortunately.
That's all I can do. Do I
You
get
do
a
have two
save?
attacks, though.
Oh, that's right. I do have 2 attacks.
Mm-hmm.
13.
That hits.
All right, that's gonna be 6 points of piercing damage. Do I get
All
Colossus
right.
Slayer because it's been damaged?
You would, yes.
Alright. And it takes another 7 Colossus Slayer damage.
So for a total of 13. Very respectable damage there.
Do I get a saving throw at the end of my turn at all, or no?
No, it would take, you would have to, make a acrobatics or a strength check in order to break the grapple as an
Okay.
action.
Alright, that's it. I'm just gonna...
Alright.
Would I be able to just, since I'm not gonna be going anywhere, could I use my move action to try to break out?
No. While you're strained, you're also grappled, which means your movement is reduced to 0.
Okay. Alright, that's it.
Yep. Which also will bring us to the Vine's turn.
No.
Because it is the start of their turn, we're going to start with you, Elise.
Oh boy.
As the barbs that are buried within these vines begin to pierce your skin, you take...
Okay.
Let's 5, 10, 15... 19 points of poison damage.
Ow.
And Wick, you will take...
Okay.
5, 10, 16 points of poison damage. And that will be... And as the... And as they grab them, you see that sprouting up from these vines, a very wide area. Let's see, that's a 15-foot square. Basically, the entire entrance of this cave just becomes enraptured and amassed with vines and roots that come tangled out. I need Zeno, Kupalue, and Yuki to give me strength saving throws.
Oh no, strength is her worst
Yo,
stat.
fuck! I was gonna say the same thing. Dad, me and you are both elf
Not
boys.
natural. Well, no, it's Yuki, and she's just a small little doggy.
I'm using my inspiration for that because I want to try to fit or save this.
All right.
With a 19.
You manage to pass as the vines and roots try to ensnare you. You manage to duck out of it, as does Kupalue. Unfortunately, Yuki is now restrained by these vines.
Oh no.
And this area is now difficult terrain.
Well,
As
guys,
these,
well,
vines
guys,
and
it's
roots
been
are
fun.
threatening. Alright. Dan, it's now your turn.
Okay. So, question. If I use Enlarge Familiar to increase Yuki's size, since she's going from tiny to medium size, would that break her free from being restrained? Because it's suddenly growing while within grasp.
I tell you what. Roll high or call high or low.
Okay. Hi.
Hello.
I will allow it.
All right. So once more, Dan is going to point his arcane focus at Yuki. And let me scroll back down. Fuck me, Yuki! Chrysare! And she grows to medium size.
Yuki is now big Yuki. Or bigger Yuki.
She is Akita size now.
As the vines just kind of snap as she begins to grow to a larger dog size. Alright. Anything else left for your turn?
I'm going to use Toll the Dead. The one on the left was damaged, right?
Both of
Yes,
them
they're both damaged.
Oh, they're both damaged. I think the one on the left is taking more of a beating, so I think I'm going to use Toll the Dead on it instead.
Alright, wisdom save throw.
Toll the Dead damage.
It failed!
Alright, it takes 15 damage as Dan turns his attention to the Assassin Vine. Whoop, that's the wrong document. Whoopsie. And Hoctibitos! And a loud clock tower bell is heard.
Alright. That will bring us now to Wick.
Alright, I'm not doing so hot. I'm gonna try to use my action to break 3.
Alright. Make your choice of either a strength or an acrobatics check.
Okay, strength. It's just my strength. Yeah, my strength is only slightly better. I'm gonna use my inspiration.
Alright.
There we go, that's better, 20.
You manage to, as you go to raise your gauntleted fist in order to try and break out of the vines, you manage to, surprisingly, actually, snap the vines out, and you do manage to break yourself free.
I'm just imagining that scene from My Hero with the muscle guy.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Alright, and I'm just gonna have to draw something real quick here, too, just to elaborate, because vines are currently in here. Because that's a 15-foot. Well, I'll say they're both casted. It basically takes up the entire entrance. Yeah. So that was your action to break out. Anything else?
What is that bonus action? I still don't have healing word. Gosh darn it, cause we didn't get the long rest. No, there's a whole lot of nothing I can do.
Okay. As I just sit here just waving around your scythe, like, oh, okay.
Oh yeah, no, that is a good point. I keep forgetting about that. Yeah, go ahead.
Alright. Where would you like to drop your spiritual weapon?
Keep forgetting that's a bonus action. We'll put it behind... Yeah, we'll put it behind Elise's Assassin Vine.
Okay. Right there. Alright, roll to, swing away.
Spiritual weapon, there you go.
Natural one, that will
Natural
miss.
one.
Alright.
Oh, I tried.
Alright, Enoch, that brings us back to the top of the initiative.
Well, seeing as everyone's focused on this and that Wick is still basically in danger, Enoch will use all his movement into the difficult terrain.
Alright, as you take one step into here, I need you to make a strength saving throw.
Oh boy, I just switched my +1 over to Dex and we haven't changed, so... Oh, fuck. So
Alright,
strength.
a 9 is unfortunately going to fail as you take one step in there, the vines and roots instantly snare your legs and you are now restrained.
Well, good thing my spiritual weapon isn't affected by that.
That is true.
Yeah, I don't get to do the cool thing I wanted to do, but I can still do this.
The spiritual weapon's rolling a little low tonight.
I noticed.
Alright, that's your bonus action. What would you like to do for your action?
Well, the only thing I could ask is, would you say that these vines are connected to the other assassin vines?
Maybe, maybe not.
Well then, Enoch is feeling like he's in danger, and he's just gonna like go, oh, well, I hope this works, because he's only practiced it once while everybody was asleep. And I'm going to use my Hand of Entropic Flow. With a 15 hit.
Alright. As your... Yeah, I'll say if you're trying to reach at one grasping bit of the vines. You know what? I like to play real cool on this. Yeah, that hits. Go ahead and roll damage.
Oh. Okay. So you'll watch as Enoch's like metal hand opens up into segments, and you'll see a glowing purple like core in the center as he touches the ground. Oh, oops, canceled that. My bad. And this happens.
Jesus Christ.
Damn.
Well, you know what? As the energy just arcs up from your hand, I'll say that a 10-foot by 10-foot area of the vines that are around you are just instantly dissolved, including the ones that were restraining you.
Oh, okay. Scary hand still works. That's it for me.
All right.
Above game, Enoch learned Inflict Wounds.
Oh.
All right. Well, Kawasha, in an attempt to try and help out, is still going to attempt to cast Thunder Wave again. Hopefully to a better effect. Wahoo! Let's see. Well, the vibe fails as it gets blasted over here. Just out of sight. But the vines are still grasping onto Elise. So for 9 points of thunder damage. Yeah, those vines are looking particularly rough. That'll bring us to... Speaking of rough, Yuki.
Could Yuki go
Big
from her current
force
position?
energy.
Could she go from here to here?
Alright. Sure.
Okay. Alright. For flanking, she gonna take some big bites out of these vines.
Nom nom.
Does an 18 hit?
Yes, that will hit. Roll damage.
For 11 damage.
Wow. Yeah, she just bites in and just rips up a nice big chunk of vines that are in this mass.
That's my girl.
All right. Next up is Zeno.
So, because that one's already far away, and I'm not worried nothing's in front of me, just gonna do a flaming spear right here.
All right. Those vines are on fire.
That's a 2.
Oh.
No surge, but
That was close, but so that's 4 fire damage if it fails.
all right. So dexterity save.
Which
Bit passed. As you see the flaming sphere just kind of bounce into these vines. It didn't seem like it was as effective as you thought it could have been.
but here's where the beautiful thing about this one. At the end of each of my turns, or anything's turn, it takes 2d6 fire damage.
Ah.
See? So, just I end my turn. He takes more.
Alright, in a creature that adds its turn
Yep.
within it, so yeah. Alright, so that will bring us to Koopa Lue. See, as that fight got batted away, he's gonna turn to the one that's next to Wick. Hook a sling. Yep. That's a hit for 3 points of damage. That will be his turn. Elise, I believe you're still being restrained by the
yes.
vines.
With that is a question. Would I have been pulled with the vines that way, or am I still in place?
You're still in place, oddly enough.
Okay. So we're gonna go ahead and bonus action Hunter's Mark my vine that's got me grabbed.
Okay.
And I'm gonna pull out the longbow and make a couple shots. I'm assuming still with disadvantage.
Correct.
First shot with disadvantage, 17.
That hits. Get all of your damages.
5 piercing. 1 Hunter's Mark for Colossus Slayer.
So a total of 10. Still up.
And second shot with disadvantage, 12.
That will miss, unfortunately. Alright, anything else?
Nope.
Alright. This will bring us to the Vine's turn. As at the start of this Vine's turn, the barbs that are embedded in you are going to start to see poison. At least you take 19 points of poison damage.
How?
And this vine is going to... Oh, this one over here is going to attempt to wrap its vines around you again, Wick.
No, leave me alone.
Unfortunately, that's a 22 to hit. As you
Yeah,
take
that hits.
8 points of bludgeoning damage as the vines wrap up around you again.
Dang it.
Oh, Elise is like, she's barely hanging on, but she definitely looks pretty limp in these vines, and this vine's grip as she weakly holds up a single finger. I'm at 1 HP.
Wiki ain't much better. Wiki's not much better at all.
Yeah. Alright. Dan.
Go for the immortal dog, dang it.
Dan, it's your turn.
Hey! I mean, it makes sense why you would say that, but
Look, it's Yuki or us, and I prefer it to be us.
Alright, Kaladin, it's your turn.
well, why can't I grab it? Let me zoom in so I can maybe grab the moonbeam over here, because I'm gonna place it right on top of this assassin vine.
Alright.
Because I can't see the other one, so...
Alright, well, gotta save, roll for damage. Yep, it failed.
Alright. Also, I think I haven't been keeping track of Yuki's HP correctly, because it's plus my level, and we've gone up in level. I have not changed it. But
Okay.
the assassin vine takes 5 radiant damage.
Alright.
And, let's
What's
see.
going on? Shouldn't he have taken at least one flame?
Oh, that's right. Yeah, he would have taken, roll the damage for the flame sphere.
That would have been 2 of them, right? Because it was 2 people's turns? Or just 1?
It's only at the end of its turn.
It's only the end of the creature's turn, so the assassin vine, so roll 2d6.
8.
Alright, so half that down to 4.
So, I'm also going to use my bonus action, Ignis Maleficia. It is now radiating blue fire, and it is advantage on whoever attacks it next.
Alright. Alright, that will bring us to... Wick! You're wrapped up in vines again.
No. Breaking.
Alright, strength check.
Not breaking.
Yeah, you try to break, but the vines have too strong of a grip on you.
Alright, well, bonus action, I'm gonna take a swing at the assassin vine. With
Alright.
the spiritual weapon. Let's see. 14.
That hits. Roll damage.
8 force
8.
damage.
Ooh, max.
All right. Vines are still there. All right. If that's the end of your turn, that'll bring us back to the top of the turn order with Enoch.
All right. Well, since I've already got spiritual weapon out, I'll swing with that.
All right.
19.
Roll damage.
10.
All right.
And
A
then,
palpable hit.
And then I'm gonna start blasting because it's got my friend. 8.
That'll miss the first blast.
20
That'll hit. Roll damage.
for 6.
All right. Fight's definitely looking rough, but still got some life in it. Anything else?
I'll just yell to Kawasha, "Help Wiccan Elise!"
All right. All right, so Kawasha is going to He's going to use the aid action in order to try and see if he can attempt to help somebody yank Wick out of these vines.
Wick waves
Somebody
him
help
away
me!
Wick waves him away and points at Elise instead.
Fine. Instead, he's going to use his action in order to try and yank him out. But he's unsuccessful in doing so. Alright, next up is Yuki.
Alright, she gonna take another big bite out of these vines. That's the wrong sheet. There we go. 18.
Roll damage for a big bite.
12.
12. It's still up. But it's definitely a lot less massive vines as it was before.
Oh.
Alright, next up is Zeno.
Alright, so gonna cast again, make it simple. Cast a shatter on the same guy that put the flame wheel on.
Alright. That's gonna be...
That's 12.
Cut save. That's a failure. So go ahead and roll damage.
Because it's a failure, why the hell not?
Yeah.
Level 3 cast. Holy shit!
Oh! Yeah. To be fair, in the future, determine what level you're going to be casting before
Right.
you determine if it's success or fails. So, alright, so 24 points of damage. Yeah, it's, the vines splinter and shatter, and they let go. And a 5 foot by 15 foot area of the vines actually disappears within the entrance. Basically, right where you were standing, Zeno.
Oh, great.
All right.
Elise just flops to the ground and just very weakly gives a thumbs up.
All right. Next up is Kupalue. Attaboy, as little Kupalue, with all of his might, manages to actually walk up and break the vines off of Wick. What a little trooper. And that was his action to do that. Yeah, that brings us now to... Actually, he would have just done that over there if he was in reach. Next up is Elise.
Assuming I fell prone onto the ground, I'm gonna stand up, which is just half my movement, I believe.
Yep.
5, 10, just staggering as far away as I can.
Mm-hmm.
Bonus action, mark the assassin vine.
Yep.
And F it, we're gonna shoot.
All right.
19,
That will hit. Roll damage.
10 piercing,
All right. Plus Colossus Slayer.
Colossus Slayer and Hunter's Mark, so that's gonna be 21 damage.
Yep, it's still barely standing. Can you finish it off?
Second shot. Nat 20!
Natural 20, let's go!
Whatever
So-
max damage plus that 9 is, and then
Yep.
max
which
Hunter
is-
double damage on Hunter's Mark, so there's 8 points.
Alright, well, yeah, as your arrow manages to find purposes within that length of core of the assassinified, it crumbles as the grip slacks, and the growth of vines and roots disappears within the entrance of the cave. And thus ends
And
combat.
then Elise just finally Family Guy flops onto the floor.
Yeah.
Wick does the same.
With our heroes having successfully fought off this group of assassin vines, that is where we're going to end our session for tonight.
Yay!
All right.
A little sorry if we're going a little later than I expected, but
All good.
That's fine.
It was fun. I don't think any of us will mind.
Oh, so everybody, how you doing?
We're alive.
I'm
Once
alive.
again,
Feel right
proving
about
that
it.
the plant,
Fun.
Chult once again proving that plants are definitely deadlier than zombies.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
the Lich
Yeah.
didn't hurt us this much.
No. I mean, I don't know what you're talking about. I'm fine over here.
Why are the plants like the one things that are like have our number? Like this makes no sense.
Because literally all the plants were actually in the Tomb of Annihilation book.
I mean, Assassin Vibes particularly, we discovered fire isn't that useful against the plant enemy,
Well, actually, fire doesn't work on any plant enemies.
which is weird.
5e doesn't have a lot of vulnerabilities.
Well, awakened trees apparently have vulnerability, but that's aside the point.
But yeah, let's start with Around the Horn. So, DeLuna, how you doing?
I'm doing well because I just looked on my Switch and I have officially downloaded Pokemon Arceus, so I can actually play that game now.
Yay!
One of us. One of us.
I want to explore feudal Sinnoh and get killed by a Parasect. Apparently, why the fuck are those things so hostile?
They're very scary.
I mean, there's also always Alpha.
My favorite Pokemon cry.
That one took over my favorite Pokemon cry, which was ironically enough Parasects because it was the same as Mewtwo's.
Mm-hmm.
Huh, never realized that.
Oh yeah.
Well, aside from that, Chaco, how you doing?
Good, doing good. Find me here on Tuesdays playing Elise, and you can find me on Twitter at ChocoZombie101. Been playing through Lost Ark. It's tight.
Good game.
It is a good game. I'm currently maining an assassin right now, Shadowhunter subclass.
So,
Alright.
because I have to be a heel and as always ask about this, did you find the boat?
I don't think I have yet. I literally just started playing.
That's just a meme at this point, but okay.
Alright. Draco, how you doing and where can they find you?
Everyone, you can find me at Draco Magnius on YouTube. I'm on a hiatus right now, but I'm posting all of my Twitch VODs on there, so there's something going on. And speaking of which, you can find me here on Twitch at Draco_Magnius. I'm currently playing Omori. Haven't gotten that far in yet. We're at the junkyard looking for Space Boyfriend's mixtape because he's got the blues. Because his girlfriend is away. So we'll see how that turns out for them.
Oh, well, that's interesting. Caitlin!
Well, I'm Caitlin C37. You can find me on Twitch and Twitter, Caitlin C37, where I do art. Commissions are open, so if y'all want a painting, just let me know.
Yes. Oh.
Well, that's it. I need to step away. So y'all have a good night. Bye.
Have a
Night,
good
Caitlin.
Night,
Good night.
Thanks
Caitlin.
for playing.
And Milla.
Hello. So that was a heck of a session, I must admit. Anyway, when you're not seeing me DM for this lovely bunch of nerds I'm playing with, you can find me on Twitter at @MillenNinjaNerd, where I usually catch in on the latest happening stuff. Where I also tweet about when I occasionally stream on Twitch.tv/MillenNinja. Continuing streams of Pokemon Legend Arceus. We are going into post game, having fun, doing the best part of being in the Survey Corps. Also, you can find me returning on Mondays, twitch.tv/Jake, the continuation of our D&D live play over there, Trials of Edos. And, whoo, boy, things are just definitely getting interesting on that one, if you haven't had a chance there yet. Aside from that, not much else. I, too, am also going to have to dip, because it is also late for me. But have a good night, everybody, and we'll see you next time.
Night.
Night,
Later,
Miller.
Milla.
And you've already found me. So we'll finish off here just reminding everybody that coming February 26th, we will be starting Saved by the Spell. So keep a lookout for that over here on Burnout Vaughn at 7 or 7:30. We're still ironing out the exact start time, but hey, we have a start date, so that's great. And we'll finish it off tonight with the quote of the session, which just goes to Dan for Enoch, what the fuck?
Yeah. If I wasn't worried about monetization, I'd be like, you know what? Let's make that the title of the vlog.
I mean, we still can. You think we've got enough followers for us to worry about monetization? You're adorable.
Well, I mean, it could just be exactly like it is, like Enoch WTF.
Yeah. But either way, we'll just kick this on over to the one, the only Mr. Distortion Devil.
Actually, if you don't mind, I have a friend of mine I wanted to see about rating.
Sure, why not?
Put him in the thing. It's my my buddy Ed. He's a DJ out of Kansas City, and he's doing some Yu-Gi-Oh right now.
All right, I'm waiting for it to. Oh yeah, you probably posted in the Discord. All right, let me type that out. Ancient A. Alrighty. Well then, everybody, the raid message will simply be DeLuna says hi. So I want to thank you all for coming out. Look forward to seeing us next week. And we're all going to start winding down for bed. So thank you for coming out. And see you next week.
See you next week, everybody.
Night, everybody.
Hey.